Hey, welcome everyone to Homie Connect Podcast HCP episode 25. Can you believe it? It is 25. Ooh.
Yeah.
Episode 25, man. That is crazy. I cannot believe we are in episode 25. C's, man, welcome back.
What up? What up? What
Uh,
up?
we're coming back after Thanksgiving. It was
Yeah.
a bit of a while before we got back on. I mean, we are
Mm-hmm.
December 6th, so we're pretty far removed from Thanksgiving. But we just kind of had a lot of things going on and
Yep.
weren't able to jump back on. We were supposed to jump back on like
Sunday after
Sunday
the.
after the Bills game,
Yep.
but obviously that didn't happen. And then Thanksgiving happened. And yeah, so it was just hard. But what do you got going on, man? What's going on with you? And how was your Thanksgiving?
Everything's good, man. Just chilling here at home. Sunday. What is it? Friday night. Bit
Mm-hmm.
cold. But nah, man. Good. Thanksgiving was great. Ate a lot of food. My wife ended up cooking the ham. Good. Turkey was good. Everything was good, man.
Nice.
Then we had family over. The kids were enjoying themselves, playing board games, video games, doing
Okay.
everything kids. So it was cool. I was over here watching football, movies, whatever,
Right.
just doing, pretty much. I just wanted to relax.
Right. Right. Right.
Those days where you're like, cool, I'm with family, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. Just ate good and rested. That was good.
Okay.
That
Okay.
was my Thanksgiving, man.
All
What
right.
about you, man? What about you?
Uh, Same dude. We're over here. Thanksgiving was good, man. We smoked the turkey
Mm-hmm.
using my little or my Weber kettle grill or whatever. So that was
Mm-hmm.
cool. I've never really smoked anything, especially not in my Weber. So it was
Okay.
pretty like I was a little nervous, but my Adam, my brother-in-law, was here, and we
Mm-hmm.
did it together, and
Okay.
we did what you call spatchcock the turkey, which is basically you you cut the spine out of the turkey,
Mm-hmm.
or a chicken, whatever. Because I also
Okay.
did a chicken the week before to test it out, and you basically butterfly the chicken. So the
Oh,
whole
okay.
chicken or the turkey
Mm-hmm.
is butterflied, and then it's able to kind of just like lay flat instead of just one whole piece. So it makes it easier to cook. It
Mm-hmm.
cooks even, it cooks, and it cooks a little bit faster. So that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And so we smoked it, and he brought his probes or whatever to like check the
Mm-hmm.
temperature wirelessly. So it was great, man. Like you said, a lot of
Okay.
food. It was a lot of food, dude. I mean, it came out delicious.
Yeah.
Normally we deep fry the turkey, but this time we decided to smoke it, and it came out amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it was good. Like you said, dude. Watch football. I
Yep.
think after we ate, I think either after we ate or before we ate. I don't remember anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been after we ate. Um, no, I don't remember anymore. But basically, we went to the park to go play catch.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it might have actually been before. Went to
Mm-hmm.
the park to go play catch and everything else, and it was good, dude. It was good.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
Yeah, we took Ellie and the girls, and yeah, we had a good time.
Oh, that's good,
Um,
man.
and then, like you said, watched some football, just chilled, had
Yeah.
some drinks, um, watched Miami lose, which was fantastic
And,
as a Bills fan. So that was good. And then yeah, man, it was like I said, it was good.
well, that's
It
dope,
was
man.
good. Well, let's move on to the elephant in the room. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
those of you that remember last episode 24, we talked about the Bills taking on the Niners and what was going to happen there, where the Niners going to be able to put up a challenge for the Bills, or were they going to just fold? And
Mm-hmm.
so, see, for those that didn't watch the game or have no idea or live under a rock, why don't you go ahead and fill them in and tell them what happened?
Yeah, man. I know the Niners got their ass beat for sure. Top it off, like to start off, like it was a snow fucking game. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
whiteout. It's pretty much almost like a whiteout, but man, it was just snow everywhere. And then what the game pretty much it was what 35-10, I believe, or what was that the
Yeah,
final
it,
score?
it was 35-10.
Yeah,
pretty
I was like, fuck. I stopped watching. Like, I think halftime probably. I was like, fuck, we're done. Fuck it, whatever. Yeah, bro. It was like I think the turning point was when Christian McCaffrey went down. Like he got the
Yeah.
handoff and he slid,
Mhm.
and after that it was just downhill. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and shout out to the team, to the actually the 49ers and the coaching staff, where like they actually started running the ball this game and they were doing good. Like I was like, oh
Oh
shit, like
yeah.
we're doing
Hmm.
good. Like keep running the ball. They
Yeah.
were mixing in McCaffrey with Mixon, and man, like they were, that opening drive. I was like, oh shit, this is good. Like fuck,
Yeah.
we got a chance. And like one play, McCaffrey almost broke it off, but
Yeah.
he got tackled by Taylor Rapp, I believe his name
Yeah.
is. I was like,
Barely.
oh,
Barely.
barely. I was like, oh, and I think they said that's the play that
That's
where
where he
he
got
got
hurt.
injured. Yeah.
That's where he got hurt.
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. But
Yeah.
the funny thing is like they, I think there was a second drive where they threw a screen, and I was like, oh shit, a screen! Like these motherfuckers
Yeah.
actually, did some homework and shit, and
Yeah.
like changed some shit up. I was like, damn. And yeah, like after I think the third drive, I think that's when McCaffrey went out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you could tell like after McCaffrey went down, it was just like, oh man, like I think the whole spirit of the team, the 49ers,
Yeah.
it just went away. They were just like, oh dude, like this
Another
sucks.
one. You're like
Another
another
one,
one.
but
Yeah.
and he was running good, dude. I was like, oh shit, like, and then after that, I think Kyle Juszczyk fumbled like around the goal line, and of course
At the goal
Collinsworth,
line.
yeah, Chris Collinsworth, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He's like, and that's the 49ers season in a nutshell. I was like, that's true. Like they're almost there, doing good, and then boot fumble. I was like, oh dog. And usually Juszczyk is reliable, like a fullback, but
Yeah.
like, oh, this time he fumbled. Yeah, it was, and then of course, like the only good thing is what's his name? I had uh I had Josh Allen as my fantasy quarterback, and the only good thing I was like, oh shit, is like that whole touchdown pass
Pass,
receiving.
catch, and a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
So basically,
oh
two
yeah,
touchdowns in that one
yeah.
play, a pass and a catch. Yeah.
And I won my league. I won my week. I
Yeah.
think because of that, because I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like dude, whew.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns. You double up on
Yeah, I was like, oh hell, I'll take it.
that.
And even it was funny because even the what is it, Al Michaels, he was like, oh, like what's the scoring on that? Is that a
Oh yeah,
passing
they were trying to
touchdown?
figure it out. Yeah, they were trying to
Yeah,
figure it
and
out.
they did clear it out. I think after the play, I think like 5 minutes later, they're like, yeah, so we got the scoring update. It's a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh shit, and it's 7 yards. I was like, oh shit, dope. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
That
So yeah,
was.
that was the only good thing that happened. And after that, it was, I'm telling you, it was like, fucking Niners. And then the funny thing is like after that game, it's like it felt like the whole team went on IR and shit. Like Chris McCaffrey's on IR, Jordan Mason on IR.
IR.
Somebody else, I was like, oh fuck, I think the Niners are packing it in, which they
Hmm.
should. I like the funny thing is that they still have a chance to make the playoffs because the NFC West is like jam packed, and
Hmm.
like I think every team sucks in that division. But it's like I'm like at the same time I'm like I kind of don't want them to make the playoffs because it's like what, like we're gonna get our asses beat. Like no,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
get healthy, prepare for the draft, and let's move on to next season, man. Like
Yeah.
it's too many injuries, man. Too many.
Yeah. Yeah. That way too much to overcome.
Yeah, dude.
Way too
And
much.
what did you think about the game?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I was nervous.
Yeah.
Um, I was
That first
genuinely
quarter,
Yeah. Well,
first couple
well,
drives.
I was actually nervous before that, before we
Yeah.
continued. Cheers.
Oh, for sure.
I know
for
you're
sure.
only
Drink
drinking
your
water, but I got my little Modelo, little agua fresca. Wanted to try it, pineapple or whatever. They're not bad. They're a little on the sweet side.
Okay.
They're not carbonated. I thought obviously it's kind of stupid that I thought they were going to be carbonated.
Mhm.
They're agua frescas. None of our
Yeah.
agua frescas are carbonated, but I'm just so used to like something tiny in a can like this being carbonated. But they're not bad. But like I
Oh,
said, they're
okay.
a little on the sweet side.
Okay. Okay.
But the reason I was nervous was because it became, like you said, or it was evident that it was going to become a snow game.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, and that wasn't the thought early on. In fact, it was like, oh, well, yeah, it's going to be cold. Okay, yeah, it's going to snow, but it's going to stop snowing before the game. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? It is going to snow, but it's going to slow. It's going to snow, and then, it's going to stop during the game.
Mhm.
And then it became like, oh, yeah, we're hiring people to shovel the fucking snow. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how bad is it going to get? I'm like, ah, oh, son of a bitch. And it's like, I think for me, I was more nervous because in the past, the snow hasn't really benefited us.
Mhm.
Like before, we used to have like a high powered offense that struggled when we had that kind of weather because
Mhm.
our receivers couldn't get going. So it wasn't necessarily that we had a great running game. It was just our receivers couldn't get going. And then it worked against us. And
Yeah.
so that was kind of my concern. I was like, oh, God damn it, man. And then the same thing, which is like it's harder for the defenses to react.
Yeah.
And so that's as the snow kept coming down, dude. I was genuinely worried, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, what's going on here?" I was like, and then yeah, like McCaffrey was ripping off runs, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Ah, this is gonna be a long fucking day." I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be bad," because I was like, "It's gonna work out in the Niners' favor. They're
Yeah.
gonna be able to run the ball.
Mhm. Mhm.
The snow is coming down harder. Purdy's not gonna throw the ball, so it's not gonna be in jeopardy." And they're going to keep Josh Allen on the sideline, which is what their game plan would be: is keep the ball away from Josh, keep him on the sideline, and kill the clock and score.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought, like, fuck, like that's what it's going to come down to. And you're right, like he was breaking off. McCaffrey was breaking off chunks. Now, I will say, Buffalo's known for letting you get yards on the ground regardless.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, they basically just clamped down on the run, basically in the red zone.
Okay.
So from the 20 to the 20, you can run on them, and
Yeah.
then in the red zone they clamp down.
Yeah.
And so that kind of became evident, but still, like I think if at any point in time the Niners score uh early on a touchdown
Mhm.
with their running, I think that changes the dynamic of the game because I think you kind of silence the crowd a little bit. And but they weren't able to do that.
Yeah.
You went down 7-3 in the first quarter,
Mhm.
and then obviously McCaffrey went down, and then you had the big run by
Cook.
James Cook. He had a
Mhm.
65-yard run.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude. Like it was awesome to see him take off, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna catch him. Wait, no, they're not gonna catch him. Um, and then yeah, like when it was 21. When it was 21-3 at the half,
Yeah.
I felt a little bit better,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
was worried because I think you guys got the ball
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
off, and I was like, all right, fuck. Like if they come out and they get the ball and they score, it's 10 to 21. They're only down 11. I'm like, that's a two possession game. That's not a big lead. Um, and I was like, oh shit. And I don't remember if Josh Allen had hurt his hand by then. I think he had hurt his hand, right?
Yeah. He did. He did.
I
Yeah.
don't think he
Mhm.
heard it before half. I don't think he heard it after halftime. I think he heard
No,
it
it was
before halftime.
before. Yeah. Before.
Yeah, so that had me worried too. I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this is going to keep. I mean, at this rate, I think he's going to wear that glove for the rest of the year. But still, I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, dude. Like, he's hurt. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. But no, like, thankfully, um, afterwards, Buffalo went up 28-3.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where I started to feel relaxed. I was like, all right, like it's feeling a little bit more relaxed,
Yeah.
and the teams are running, or Buffalo's running the ball now more. So we're
Mhm.
gonna kill the clock. So at that point, at 28-3, I felt better. But I think the announcer was like, "Well, it's 28-3. We've been here before." I was like,
No,
"Shut
yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
up, dude! Like,
Yeah, he said
just
that. Yeah.
shut up." And obviously, the play that put us up 28-3 was that big play where Josh threw a pass to Amari Cooper. Um, he tossed it back to Josh, and Josh ran it in for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Garendo scored for you guys,
Yeah.
made it 10-28, and then I think did Purdy throw an interception at one point? I don't remember. Or
I
he
don't
fumbled it,
remember.
right?
Yeah,
He
I think he
fumbled it. It
fumbled
came
it.
out of
Yeah,
his
yeah,
hand. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Josh Allen had that nice run for
Mm-hmm.
8 yards up the gut and broke Fred Warner's tackle
Yeah.
and scored or whatever. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. No,
Like,
yeah.
I expected the Niners to make it a little bit closer game, especially
Mm-hmm.
because at that point, shit, like literally after that touchdown, Buffalo put in all their backups.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, that was pretty interesting that it was so early that they put in like,
Trubisky
fuck,
and
like,
shit.
yeah, with like 11 minutes left. I was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty early. But I guess they figured like Niners were going to have to run the ball anyway, so it was going to take a lot of clock anyways. And
Yeah.
maybe that's why. But yeah, at that point, I'm a Bills fan, so I'm traumatized. So I can't really ever let my guard down.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like when it was fourth quarter and it was 35-10, at that point, I was like, all right. I feel a little bit. I'm like, yeah. We got this. We got the game in the bag. But yeah, dude, I was nervous. I was nervous because I genuinely thought, well, Buffalo's going to lose this game. What I had forgot was that Buffalo could clinch the AFC East.
Oh, okay.
In that game.
Okay.
And once I thought about that, I was like, oh, now I'm even more nervous. I'm like, come on, man, we can clinch the AFC East. I was like, oh, that'll be great. And then that kind of made me even more nervous or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I thought it was a great game. I thought Josh balled out. I thought he was smart, didn't make any mistakes. He didn't have the greatest stats in terms of passing are concerned, but the team in general did fantastic. It was great to see our stud linebacker back finally after fucking being gone 2 years pretty much. Milano, so it was nice to see him get in there, get some plays, and kind of get back into the groove. I was happy we got out without major injuries.
Yeah.
That was my biggest concern. It was like, hey, listen, at this point, I don't really care if the Bills win this game or not. It doesn't really affect the Bills too much other than seeding. But I was like, I'd rather just get out healthy versus a win. But we got both. We got a win, and so I'll take it. But I wanted to ask you something. I wanted your thoughts on the Amari Cooper, Josh Allen pass. Did you think that play should have been blown dead?
What do you mean? The pass?
When Amari caught it,
like his forward progress was stopped.
Forward progress was stopped.
No.
Do you think it should have been the play should have been blown dead?
No, I don't think it should have been blown dead. I think he caught it and he stayed in that position. If he would have probably been pushed back, then I think they would have blown it. But he caught it and stayed in that yard line. And then he probably thought and like saw Josh Allen there. He said, "Fuck it, here, take it." It was a gutsy play and it was a dope play actually. I honestly, it's probably gonna be play of the year. And also Josh Allen like fucking jumping, like going all out Superman and reaching for the pylon and boom, getting it. I was like, damn, props to him and shit, But no, I don't think the play should have been blown dead. I think he caught it. I guess a second or two went off, and then he decided to go off. Like, nah, not yet. I think if he would have been pushed back, then blow the play dead, or forward progress would stop. Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was close. I genuinely thought they were going to call it back or whatever. I think the only reason they didn't blow it dead, even though his momentum did stop, is because they were trying to see if he was going to reestablish. Because I don't know if you remember, it was a bit of a bad pass.
Yeah.
So he had to. So he kind of bobbled it. So it's kind of like he's repossessing it while he's getting stopped. And so
Cooper, right?
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah. So I think it's hit his forearm or his
so he kind of bobbled it. Yeah. Then he got stopped. So I think that's why they were waiting for him to get possession, and maybe that's why they didn't blow it dead. I just thought I thought they were going to blow it dead, but that's probably the only reason why I could see that they didn't. Which
Okay.
ultimately, I'm glad that they didn't. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was glad about that. And the other bone I have to pick is, of course, I love how much they're giving Collinsworth shit when he was like, "Oh well, it's like Kansas City, and there's a little bit of Travis Kelsey," and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like everybody's giving him shit. Like, dude, can you like stop glazing fucking the Chiefs
Yeah.
every fucking chance that you get, dude? Like, just stop, dude. You're on their nuts. It's just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, dude, that was interesting. I mean, I thought it was a great play. I thought it was fantastic. I
Yeah.
was blown away. I was like, holy shit! Like I didn't even know if to celebrate or not. I'm like, wait, does it count? Like are they gonna blow it dead? Like did he hit the pylon? Like it was just it was all
Yeah,
fucking
it was a good
nuts.
play, man. I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker!" But that, I tell you, the only reason why I was happy because I had him on my fantasy team. I was like,
Yeah,
"I'll take it." Hell yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's hilarious.
yeah,
That was
bro.
fucking
But
hilarious.
yeah, it was sucks that we. I mean, everything's going wrong for the 49ers. It's going wrong, and
Everything,
it just
everything.
sucks, dude. It sucks. Be like seeing them just hurt, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude. If we could
Yeah,
just stay healthy, fuck, we'll be a great team." But and then
yeah,
of course time, father time is coming up and shit. Every player gets older every year, so
hmm
it's like fuck it. These injuries are gonna come like more and more for sure. So
yeah.
it's like fuck it.
I want to make sure I shout out a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
So like it almost feels like your team is, I don't want to say cursed. It's just it's like one of those where it's like nothing can go right for your team.
No,
Like
I think it's that
it's
whole idea of like the team that loses the Super Bowl the following year, like they just fall off a cliff and shit.
yeah, but there's some shit that you can't even control. Like the injuries, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, the
The
injuries
amount
are
of
crazy.
injuries you have is just insane.
Yeah,
For McCaffrey to go down the way he did, dude, I felt bad. I was like,
yeah.
oh, dude,
I was
like
like,
this is like this, like it had, like it killed it, right? Because I've been a critic of McCaffrey in terms of like I wasn't going to draft him anytime soon, right? We talked
yeah.
about it with the homies in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't have touched him at all, and then because I figured he's going to have a shitty year, and I figured
Yeah,
he's probably going to get hurt again.
yeah,
But it's, and then and I said, oh well, he came back and he didn't really do shit, and you fucking didn't let Mason run the ball when Mason was running the
yeah,
ball, and now you're ruining it for Mason. Um, but the way he was running against Buffalo, I was like, oh shit, like okay, like
yeah,
you know what, hey, do your thing, I'm glad. And then he gets hurt, dude, and I didn't even see that he slid.
mm-hmm.
I didn't see that he gave himself up. I don't know what I was doing. I was looking down for whatever reason, and I look up and he slid, and and Yanni's like, oh, he's hurt. And I was like,
Yeah,
no, he slipped. And she's like, no, he went down on his own. And I was like,
yeah,
what? And then I saw the replay and I was like, oh, that's bad. I was like,
mm-hmm.
oh, that's bad. I was like, that's not good. I was like, I thought he pulled the hamstring at first.
I thought so too, but then he started jogging off. I was like, oh okay. At
Yeah,
one point, I was like, he could be all right, but then they're like, yeah, no,
it was,
he's going, he's
yeah,
taking out the game. I was like, yeah, something bad, something really bad.
yeah, yeah. So
But I mean, it turns out to be his PCL ligament,
yeah,
which I mean is one of those ACL, PCLs, whatever. So
yeah,
they're like, yeah, he could be back like technically within like 2 or 3 weeks. Just let it heal. But they're
yeah,
like, nah, we don't want to risk it. Like it's the season's over. Just
yeah,
nah, just that's it. McCaffrey, you're shutting down.
yeah,
Next season we'll get you going. But nah, that's it.
yeah, yeah. And I was just like, whew. So that injury happened. Then fucking
Yeah.
Mason went down, right? And then,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's just one of those where it just feels like at the end of the day, there's just way too much to overcome. Like
Yeah.
whether it's injuries on the field or like, you know, Charvarius Ward losing his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it
Mm-hmm.
was his daughter. And
Yeah.
so like, that really sucks, right? And so
And we had also had like Trent Williams also.
Right. I was about to.
Dude, I
That's
was like,
kind of where I
Jesus
was like,
Christ.
dude, like, are you kidding me? Because I didn't know he wasn't playing until the game started,
Yeah,
and I was like, Trent Williams isn't playing. I was like, in my head, I'm like, great, that's one less person.
yeah,
That's one less stud on the Niners team blocking for Purdy. I'm
yeah.
like, yes. I had no idea, and I don't think it had came out. Right? I don't think they
No,
said
I
what it
think
was.
I think he's injured for sure. But that whole news about his family, I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
don't think they
this
had
is
mentioned that, right? So
yeah. They
yeah,
never mentioned it.
and so when I heard about that about Trent Williams, I was like, dude, like you know,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know, man. Rest in peace to both of these guys' daughters.
yeah.
Both of these guys lost daughters. They're on the same team. It's not that far apart that they lost their daughters. I mean, that as a father of two daughters, man, that kind of hit me hard. I was like, man,
Hmm.
that really sucks. And so I
Yeah.
genuinely feel bad for the Niners, the Niner Nation. Obviously, your two players that are that are mourning their daughters.
Hmm.
Um, but that's the kind of stuff that, dude, you just can't, like, as a team, you can't overcome that, man. It piles up too much, and I just felt bad. And shout out to
Yeah.
the Bills Mafia, because it is Bills Mafia, and apparently, like, when they found out, I think, like, before the game, like a week before the game, they found out that Charvarius Ward had uh,
Yeah. Charity.
a charity, so Bills
Yeah.
fans started donating
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Charvarius Ward's charity. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Bills Mafia. That's not anything strange. You know how we
Hmm.
do.
Yep.
There's no real hate unless you're a Dolphin. Then Bills Mafia doesn't like you, or the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. But other than
Yeah.
that, like, there's no real hate from the Bills Mafia. But yeah, man, that, like I said, rest in peace to theirs, and my heart goes out and condolences to your two
Hmm.
players, Charvarius Ward and Trent Williams, on their losses, man. That really sucks. That
I know. So, and like you said, it's like everything's going wrong. It's going wrong. Like you kind of, as a team, like it's hard to overcome that. Like, dude, like Ayuk is injured. Trent Williams is out. Bosa's out. They even brought out like Fred Warner's playing with the ankle injury, and he's still
ankle
playing.
fracture.
Yeah, ankle fracture, and he's still playing. So I was like, dude, like he's that's Fred Warner. He's future Hall of Famer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like injury. It's like, oh fuck, dude. That's why it's like just no playoffs, please. Just get healthy. Let's just do it next
Yeah.
season, man.
And you're literally down to your third string running back.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're down to your third string. Yeah, rookie
running
third
back.
string running back.
Yeah.
So then that leads me to, or that was going to lead me to my next
Mm-hmm.
question for you, is to talk about your playoff chances.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned you'd rather not even go to the playoffs, because at this point, like, you're 5-7, you're one game away from second place in your division,
Mm-hmm.
but you're 2 games away from first place, with Seattle being 7-5,
Yeah.
and Arizona and the Rams being 6-6. I think I agree with you there. Making the playoffs, honestly, is not the best thing for the Niners.
It would
mean,
be nice. I mean, like, it's one of those, like, look, you don't want your team to lose,
right.
but just give it effort. If you win, great. If you lose, all right, fuck it. But like, to make the playoffs, they a lot of things have to go their way. Like the other teams have to lose, and they of course have to win. And then the other teams have the tiebreakers. So I was like, but I mean, it's just I think it'll be too much on the team, because they'll be like, look, like we don't got our starters. Ayuk is out. Who knows if the other players are gonna be like? We're gonna go over there and get embarrassed, because
Right.
we're not gonna have home field advantage. It's
No.
gonna be in Detroit, Minnesota.
Well, that's not true. You would have.
Because we're division.
You would win the division, and
Exactly.
you can only
You're
get
right,
in
you're
if
right.
you win the division. So
Yeah.
you would have it
But-
for one game.
Yeah, but it's exactly one game, and no, it'll be too much. Like, nah, just I prefer no, just win. Of course, show effort. Don't show that you're tanking, but like just win. Try to win, and if you can't, fuck it, just move on and shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
and stay, and no more injuries. That's another important thing. Like,
Yeah.
don't, like, no more injuries. Come on, guys.
So I thought you guys were going to be in a way worse situation in the future, but I was listening to something and I was like, well, it's true.
Hmm.
It's not that bad for the Niners. You're getting a lot of talent back next year, right?
Yeah.
You still get Debo, you still get Ayuk, you still get McCaffrey, you still get Mason. Well, I don't know. Yeah, you still get Mason back.
Hmm.
Garendo is going to finish the season
Yeah.
playing 3, 4 more games where he's a starter. Um, you're going to get Kittle back. You get Purdy back. I mean, you know my thoughts on Purdy. I don't think he's
Yeah.
anything special. I know there's some divisiveness there. It's like people are like, "No, he's great. He's a top 5 quarterback," and I'm like, "What in the
Hmm.
fuck are you smoking?" And then you get a lot of your talent back for next year on the defensive side too, right? Fred
Yeah.
Warner will
Hmm.
be healthy. You'll get Bosa back. Um, I think you'll get a starting cornerback back. I think I don't remember.
Well, they said Charvarius Ward could be like a cut candidate because he
Yeah.
is making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, he hasn't been playing up to his level, but I think
Yeah.
it has to do something with his daughter
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
sick, and you know how that shit
Yeah.
affects you.
Oh, dude.
Something happens at home, it affects you at work, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think
100%.
that's what's going on with him. Hopefully he's
Yeah.
not cut. Hopefully he's given another year to prove himself. To get over
Right.
this tragedy in his family.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the other dude, Diamondor Lenore,
Yeah.
he
That's
didn't
your other
play.
starter.
Yeah, he didn't play with your Bills, but he should be back and healthy. He's good.
Yeah.
The other dude, Renardo Green, he's a rookie, so it's like, all right, cool. He's getting experience, so another
Yeah.
starter. What is it, Hafunga? I think he's gonna play this week, but he has like some wrist injury where he's like
Mm-hmm.
fucking barely coming back.
Yeah.
And then we have another safety, Brown and Mustafa.
Yeah.
Mustafa's a
Mustafa.
rookie.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, and he's getting
But he's doing all
experience. So
right. Yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting
He's doing
experience,
all
so
right.
that's good. And he's a starter, so I was like, oh shit, so they believe in him. So
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, the team should be back healthy, and just hopefully they should stay healthy. Not that McCaffrey like, oh, like my Achilles and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hurt, but I'm not hurt. I was
Yeah.
like, no, come on, doc. You need
Yeah.
to get your surgery in the off season and get right and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so on that note, I will say there is an advantage
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
being as disadvantaged as you've been, is that a lot of your players are gonna get a lot of experience.
Yeah,
Your younger players, your no-name players, are gonna get a ton of experience. So that means
yeah,
that you're gonna have a shitload of depth,
yeah.
and I think that is actually what's paying off for Buffalo right now. Is that those that know anything about Buffalo know that in the last 2 years, like our team has been devastated with injuries,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? Like Milano pretty much missed all of last year. We were excited to get him back this year, so that means we had younger players playing. We had a rookie playing last year to cover for Milano, or we had other guys to cover for Milano, and so as a result, now we've got 2 stud linebackers, right? Because one of those was Terrell Bernard, and now he's a stud linebacker because he got so much experience. A lot of our linemen, a lot of our corners, like we were just so beat up, dude, that like we had to plug in people, and they
Yeah,
got experience. And so now I think that that's going to be the case for the Niners, is that you're not losing your stars,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and now you're going to have players that have a shitload of experience under their belts. Um, and when you do have an injury, it's not going to be a big drop off
Yeah,
because the guys coming in are going to be solid contributors, and if anything, you're going to be able to keep your guys fresher on defense because you've had so many injuries on defense.
yeah,
Like now they've all got playing experience. So I when I heard that, I was like, yeah, you know what? They got a good chance to get like literally right back into the top of things. Get
yeah,
right back into being one of the most serious contenders for the Super Bowl next year. Get right back at being on top, at the very least, contending for the NFC West.
yeah,
And being a threat. But like based on the talent that you would be getting back, um, minus Purdy holding you back in any way,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. I honestly, I would not care too much about the playoffs at this point. Like you said, if I was a Niner management, I'd be like, of course we're trying to win, but at this
Mm-hmm.
point, dude, it's week 14. We're starting week 14, right?
Yeah.
Um, I put in all the young talent.
Yeah.
Fuck it, get them as much experience as we can. You know, save the veterans, save your established players a little bit, give the other guys a lot more run,
Mm-hmm.
let them get
Mm-hmm.
their experience, and fuck it, play spoiler.
Yeah. No.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, if you get into the playoffs, great, right? But like, I think at this point, I honestly, fuck, I'd rather just keep it at 5 wins, so that
Mm-hmm.
you're maybe drafting in the what, top 12, maybe.
Yeah. We're like in the middle of the pack right now, and I'll like later in our podcast, I'll give my take on Purdy and his
Yeah,
contract coming up, and
yeah,
and hopefully what we should draft in this coming draft, and
yeah,
see hopefully something. Well, I'll bring that up later, but yeah,
yeah,
dude, it's like if they make the playoffs, great, like you said, but it's honestly, I to me, it's like let's just focus on next season. And like
mm-hmm.
you said, play the young guys, get them as much experience as you want, as they want, and much as much experience as you could see, and next season you could tell who to keep, who to not keep, who
Right,
to let go, and who to not.
yeah, yeah, and I agree. And honestly, though, I mean, if you stay at 5 wins, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you'll be drafting in the top 10,
probably. Yeah.
10, because I think right now you're 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the teams below you are Cincinnati, Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them getting some more wins.
Yeah.
Puts you in the top 10. Fuck it, a top 10
Okay.
draft pick with those guys that you're getting back. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries,
Mm-hmm.
actually, hold on. Sorry, before we jump onto that, we didn't even talk about the Bills
Mm-hmm.
and their playoff chances. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, in terms of seeding,
Yeah. I
um,
mean,
so the Bills clinched the East, right?
yeah.
They're the AFC East for 5 years in a row,
Mm-hmm.
5 consecutive years. That's pretty fucking epic. Um, and we're barely going into week 14. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. Um,
It feels good though, man. Like,
it feels
oh,
fantastic.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But I will say it doesn't move the needle too much for me because I am kind of like one of those. It's like, okay, but can we beat the Chiefs,
Yeah.
please? Like, great, we beat them in the regular season. It doesn't mean shit to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's beat them in the playoffs.
Yep.
Let's go to the Super Bowl. Like, I definitely don't want to get knocked out in the first fucking first round. Like, let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's have it mean something. I
Yeah.
don't want to waste our years. So we're still going to be fighting for the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs just keep getting fucking lucky. It's getting really annoying. I hope they get. I mean, they won't be able to get booted out if they go in as the first fucking round, as the first, uh, first seed. But I'm hoping they don't, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they don't get in for the main reason that like I don't think you're going to be able to skate by any playoff teams. You're not going to have a Raiders collapse, like you did on, the day after Thanksgiving
Yeah.
against a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
any one of those teams that makes it to the playoff, you're not skating by them like that.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I hope that they don't get the number 1 seed, so they get outed in the first fucking
They've been
round.
lucky. They've been lucky for
Very
sure.
lucky, very lucky,
For sure.
and that they still get hyped up. Well,
Yeah.
good teams know how to win.
Yep.
It's like good teams had nothing to do with the Raiders fucking that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing. Like you shouldn't even. The Raiders being dumbasses, they shouldn't even done what they did. You're in position to kick the fucking field goal, dude. Like, go for it on third down. You still had time. I think they still had a timeout as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing running the fucking play, dude? Like, go for the field goal so that if you fuck up the snap, you take the sack and you call a timeout and you go for it on fourth.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you know what? We're going to run one more play.
I think their plan was to run one more play to get the kicker closer. Because I know I think I read like, oh, like they're afraid the Chiefs are going to block the field goal because it's the farther you get, the more
The
lower the
lower,
ball.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I think they were thinking about. But yeah, you're kind of right. Like, just attempt it on third down. If you mess it up, call a timeout, take the sack, and do it
yeah.
again on fourth down. Yeah, yeah,
Do it again. I mean, it just I was just baffled. I was like, "Are you fucking
yeah.
kidding
I
me,
was like,
dude?"
oh shit, fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm like that. Like every fucking analyst can kiss my ass. Like, I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with how good of a team you are. The
Yeah,
fact that the Raiders fucking bumbled it, nah.
yeah.
The fact that, the yeah, no. I mean, didn't they beat the Bears the same way, or who did
Was
they
it
beat?
the
Oh, the
Broncos?
Broncos.
I think the Broncos, they blocked their field goal. I remember that one. But
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was the Broncos. It was the Broncos. Yep,
yeah,
16-14.
yeah.
I mean, whatever, man. But yeah, again, I hope that the Bills can get the first. If they don't,
Hmm.
they don't.
No,
Like
I think you guys, honestly, I think the Bills do need the first just to have home field advantage.
yeah.
And not have to travel anywhere of like KC and pretty much. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope they do because I don't think KC deserves it. They've gotten lucky way too many times.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one, and then the other one is that I you know what I enjoyed about the Niners, the Bills win against the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much that we beat the Niners. What I enjoyed was that we clinched the East, but what I enjoyed more than clinching the East was all the fucking receipts that came out
Okay.
against all the motherfucking experts and all the shit talkers that were like, well, the Bills won't have anything. They're not even going to make the playoffs. Josh Allen's overrated. You
Yeah.
know, it's going to be Miami and the Jets fighting for 1 and 2. I don't even think the Bills make the playoffs. You know, blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, they don't have anybody. Josh Allen can't carry the team like that. Really?
Josh
Like,
Allen is stepping up, man.
I mean, I was always told that if you had an elite quarterback, you always had a fucking chance.
Yeah.
Like that is why an elite quarterback is so important in the NFL. Because if you have like an elite, like a top 3 quarterback, maybe 4, if you've got one of them dudes, you always have a chance. Is what
Mm-hmm.
I learned about football. Is as long as you have one guy who's a potential Hall of Famer like that, you always have a chance.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's on your team. You always have a chance. And it's like, for them to say the shit that they said, like, really? Like, what did we do to not give you? We took it 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like, and then you were like, no, they lost all these people. Like, you lost Stephon. We lost Stephon. Like, I like Stephon. I thought he was a great player for us.
Yeah.
Shit went downhill a little bit, but I wasn't even one to criticize him. I'm sure there was drama there, but I didn't really,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't partake on that. But he didn't do anything towards the end.
Yeah.
So how big of a loss was he? We were like, oh, you lost Gabe Davis. Really? Gabe Davis is a loss? Tell me what he's done in Jacksonville. Tell me what he did before we boosted him out.
No.
Not a goddamn thing. You know, oh, you're losing all these veteran talent. We lost Trey White. That one hurt because I love Trey White. But he's a shell of himself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
No.
injuries took a toll. Like that sucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we lost Poyer. I mean, how's Poyer working out in Miami?
Yeah.
You know, we lost Hyde. Technically, we didn't. We just re-signed him to the practice squad.
To practice squad, yeah.
I think that's fantastic that we brought him back. But it's like people forgot. Like we were full of injuries too. So a lot of our talent played. Like a lot of our younger players played, and that's who's holding us down now. Is all the no-name people are holding us down. So I am loving all the fucking receipts that came out. Like,
okay.
I'm loving all these people having to eat their fucking words. Like, it was fantastic. So that was my favorite part, honestly. Like, I had so much content. In fact, I don't even think I got to watch all the content because there was just so much to watch. I didn't even know what to do with myself. Shout out to my wife. She's the one that introduced me to reaction videos. she loves to watch reaction videos of either fans that just do reaction videos, period, or fans of the opposing team who we beat.
Yeah.
And so she was pulling up Niner fans, reaction videos or whatever. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
so now I'm into that or whatever. And then others that are just in general, like they do reaction videos or whatever.
Yeah.
So like because she added that to kind of my stuff to watch, now I'm like, fuck, I don't have enough time to watch all this shit, dude.
Yeah.
There's so much content, but yeah, dude, the
So-
cold takes, the receipts, yeah, man, those were amazing. But all right, but jumping back to what we were originally skipping to, and then I jumped back. We were talking about injuries and a controversial injury happened, I guess you could say, in the Jacksonville Houston game with the line. Is it? I don't know if he's a corner or a linebacker, but basically
linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. He basically knocked out cold Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence was sliding. And there's a lot of controversy there because you either stand on one side or the other on this situation. And you're right, the guy's linebacker, his name is Azeez Al-Shaair.
So
I'm gonna let you take this, explain to the folks what happened, and then give me your take on it, and give me your take on, was the suspension warranted, and if it was or wasn't, and if it was, is it enough?
Yeah, I mean, to start off, yes, it was Trevor Lawrence pretty much he was rolling to the left. He saw nobody was open, so he took off. I'm trying to get the first down. He did go into his slide late. Yes, he did. Al-Shaair, I know Al-Shaair because he used to be for the 49ers. He was an undrafted rookie for the 49ers. So we brought him up with Fred Warner and Greenlaw. And once DeMeco Ryans left for the Houston job, he took Al-Shaair. But I know him because I know he wears like a brace on his left elbow.
Okay.
Like a big brace too, a good one too.
Yeah.
So that's why I recognize him. I was like, okay, I know him. But yeah, it was a bad hit. It was I think the suspension was deserved. And it was mostly because he did lunge. The linebacker did lunge into Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I think the Azeez, he knows that he has this brace on his elbow, and he knows that he can knock somebody out with that shit. So I think it was warranted, and he's done stuff in previous games, like personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct, stuff like that, where he's been on the radar of the NFL before. But it was. I mean, on one side, I agree. Like, yes, Trevor Lawrence did slide late, but there's that little tackle form that as he goes, he crouches down and he lunges forward, and I think that's what got him suspended. And I think that should have been. It was a correct call to suspend him 3 games. Yes.
Yeah. I agree. And normally I'm on the side of like, nah, this bullshit. We're turning this game too soft.
Yeah.
Mark Schlereth, he was actually, he came on and I was like, I don't really like his take, but he was basically saying that, like, some of these quarterbacks are taking advantage of it and sliding late or pretending to slide, and then they don't slide. And then it puts the defender in a bad spot. And so I do agree to a certain extent.
I think it was Tom Brady that also brought this up, that said that if the quarterback attempts like a fake slide or does something, he's like, oh, he should get fined for that because that's deceiving, or he could get injured, and then this player cannot make the tackle. So I was like, oh, okay, good take, good
So
take.
so I do agree there, and I think the NFL does need to look at it. But
Yeah.
but I don't know that I buy 100% the whole. Well, he couldn't hold back already. He had already launched or whatever. It's like, yeah, he launched. You're not supposed to launch.
Yeah.
Like you're literally not supposed to leave your feet. And in the video, this motherfucker is flying.
Yeah.
His feet aren't in the ground. He literally took off.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even give a shit about Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence fan.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm mad at Jacksonville for sucking balls because I predicted them to be so much better.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it helps that you seem to be a dirty ass fucking player.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get up, bro, and then you're mad because the offensive lineman slammed your dumb ass to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what they should do. Like, you
Yeah.
hit their quarterback, any motherfucker better come and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. And you can't get up and be like, well, what are you doing? It's like, really, bro? You didn't know what you did was dirty? Like, really? Or at the very least, you didn't know what you did was pretty fucking brutal, even if it wasn't dirty in your eyes. Like, you still got to know it's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like, but then, like, all the fucking video that has come out on how dirty he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the
He's
super
done,
late.
yeah.
He had, like, a super late hit out of bounds on a dude.
Yeah.
And
then he punched the dude on the sideline.
Yeah, he punched the dude on the sideline. He put his arms, or he was choking, fuck, who was he choking?
Brady, no?
Brady. He was choking Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
Like, dude, I'm sure that has something to do with your suspension.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that has something to do with your suspension. Because at the end of the day, dude, the NFL is probably looking at this and it's like, okay, if we don't suspend him, the videos are going to come out and they'll be like, really? This dude's been doing this shit and you didn't suspend him.
Yeah.
Like, or we suspend him, but it's easier to deal with the criticism of, well, that's too harsh of a penalty. But at least we could say, like, but the videos are out there, guys.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, we'll get criticized either way, but I think it's the lesser evil if we go heavy on him. And yeah, like, if you didn't seem like such an asshole and dirty ass fucking player, then I don't think you would have gotten 3 fucking games.
Yeah.
But based on the shit you've gotten away with, I think the 3 games was warranted.
I think I think he knew what he was doing with his arm.
Don't give me that bullshit.
He knows, like I said, he knows that he has a brace there, and it's like I said, I know the brace because he used to play for the 49ers, so I was like, oh, okay, it's like it's like a brace here on his forearm, on his elbow, and then up here by his bicep. And I was like, oh yeah, he knows this shit is strong, and he's gonna fucking as soon as he puts it up. As soon as he puts it up and somebody hits it, he's not gonna feel nothing. Like the other players are gonna feel it,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he knocked them out cold. You could tell Trevor Lawrence's like fucking arm was like kind of
dude,
dangling. I was like, oh shit, that's bad.
Yeah, dude, he's over there doing like a fucking Tua moment.
Yeah, Tua, exactly.
Yeah, like yeah, don't give me that shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
I've seen players that are diving at quarterbacks literally that low,
Mm-hmm.
and at the last second they barely clear them,
Yeah.
or they still hit them, but not with their fucking forearm.
Yeah.
Like their chest still catches the helmet and it hits them, and they get a penalty, but they don't get ejected, bro. You fucking went in with your shut the fuck up. You couldn't avoid it. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, come on now. You're an athlete. You're an amazing athlete. You've got God-given athletic ability, which is why you're in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like me trying to dive like that, and then you tell me, "Oh, I gotta hold up." Yeah, my fat ass is gonna roll and bounce all over the place and break something. So but they've got reflexes. Like no, I don't buy it. He knew what he was doing. So Trevor Lawrence is out for the rest of the year. He's on IR. Aziz is suspended for 3 games.
3 games, yeah. He should be back by like week 18, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know if the suspension came from the league or if the suspension came from the Texans.
No, the
That's
league,
what
the league,
the league. Okay.
the league, because the Texans defended him actually.
Okay.
They said like, oh, he should get last or he shouldn't be suspended because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, Trevor Lawrence like slid late, but
Yeah.
no, the league actually suspended him 3 games for sure.
Yeah. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, yeah. I don't even know that he. Whatever. I mean, if he comes back, dude, like, I'd be surprised if opposing teams aren't keeping an eye on him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and so I don't know that that's the kind of drama you want on your team if you're the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
We'll
it
see,
is what
we'll
it
see.
is, man.
Yeah.
That was the other exciting thing that came out of last week. So hopefully Trevor Lawrence gets healthy, but looks like his season's done anyways because it's not like
Yeah.
Jacksonville was going to do anything anyways. Unfortunately,
Nah.
fucking Jacksonville made me look
Yep.
like an idiot. I don't know, it might have been episode 1 where I made
Yeah,
the claim.
probably.
I could be wrong, but I think it was episode 1 where I made that claim.
Yeah, I think so.
Where I don't look like an idiot is in fantasy football.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about fantasy football, Caesar. Let me go ahead and pull up our fantasy league. And let me pull up week 13. Let's share with the good people my screen here. All right, here we go, folks. So what you see here is you see last week's results.
Yep.
C's, how did you do last week, man? You are fighting for your life, by the way, my friend. You are fighting for your dear life, and you hung on by the skin of your teeth. Tell the people what you got going on.
Oh, I hung on because, of course, Josh Allen, 2 passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. But I think the pick that I was like so proud of is that Marvin Mims Jr. Denver Broncos Monday night game. I was like, oh shit, who did I pick? I was gonna go with either Elijah Moore for the Browns or Mims. I was like,
genius call.
Yeah, I was like, let me go Mims. Fuck it, because I know Potato Salad had he had Vele.
Mm-hmm.
The other Denver Broncos receiver. I was like, nah, I can't. Like, I gotta get a fucking Monday receiver. So I went with Mims. Boom, fool ended up getting me 16 points. The win right there, baby. Boom, won by what? 5 points.
You won by 5 points. Look at that. Woo. A little over 5 points. But yep.
Woo.
That
man,
right there.
I was so happy, man. I was like, yes. And then Mims, as soon as he caught that deep pass from Knicks, I was like, yes. That was it right there. That was it. That was my winner right there. I was like, oh my god. So dude, I was so proud of that fucking pickup. I was like, thank you. Woo.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude,
go ahead.
No, yeah, I like I'm in it. I'm in the right now. I'm in the playoffs, but got to play this week. Barely in there, but I'm hanging on. I think I got a good chance to make it. We'll see, baby. We'll see.
Yeah, that was. It wasn't looking good for you at first.
Oh yeah,
it was not looking good for you. That was rough. Let's see here. Oh, we're showing week 14. Let's go back right quick. All right, so here, I honestly didn't even think I was going to win this game.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did. Lamar did Lamar things. He didn't go off. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
George Pickens did all right for me. Nico put up what he was supposed to put up. Shakir didn't do anything in the snow. Of course, Saquon being Saquon, put up the bare minimum of what he's supposed to put up.
Yeah.
So it was nothing great. Nothing that stood out where, I should have taken home the win. They just kind of all met their numbers. I just think Rook, I think he suffered. I mean,
yeah, his team didn't perform as much.
His team didn't perform. Yeah, I mean, Kyron was going off, and that had me worried for a bit. I was like, oh shit, but Swift didn't do anything. Otten didn't do anything. White didn't really meet his expectations, and his Houston defense didn't really help there either. So, I mean, I took the win, and that literally solidified my seeding on the in the league. And so here's kind of where we are, folks. This is our current standings, which is you got me, your host, and the number one spot, the current reigning champion, 11-2, which should be, if I'm not mistaken, the number one seed, right? Seeds, I don't know because we only have one game left because in playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah,
Nah,
so
you'll keep it.
yeah, so I keep no matter what happens this weekend, I keep the number one seed. So that's fantastic. At least I can say I moved on to the semifinals. Then Cream Pie, who had first place for I think at least 2 to 3 weeks, and then he kind of stumbled a little bit, and I believe he's lost 2 in a row.
2 in a row,
and it's not looking good for him this weekend, by the way. Kamish has climbed up the board. Kamish is on his 3rd win in a row, looking for his 4th win in a row. And if he does get that 4th win, then you're looking at Kamish locking up the number 2 seed with Cream Pie Charlie dropping down to 3rd.
Yeah.
Then you've got 4th, 5th, and 6th is where it's gonna be interesting this weekend. I am. There's not a lot of games this weekend, right? Because most of the teams are in a bye.
Yeah.
And that's really throwing off fantasy as well.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely excited. I don't think I can remember the last time I was genuinely excited for a week for fantasy football because I don't have to worry about it. Of course, I want to win, but I don't have to worry about it. But I'm curious to see how 4th, 5th, and 6th shake out.
Yeah.
And who's going to be left out. And so you got Prime, you got Pun hanging out at 7 and 6 with the 4 seed overall based on points. You've got homie Connect. You got C's here representing. He is the 15 currently, also tied at 7 and 6. And then you've got 4 teams tied at 6 and 7 for the last spot, with Beast Mode holding on to it right now based on points. And that is our guy Bruno. Then you've got Alabama Salvi at Mr. Potato Salad at 7th. Then you've got Rook, who needed that win badly last week against me and did not get that, unfortunately. So he is holding down 8th. And then you've got Boog, who is Slap Your Mama at 9th, also 6 and 7, but he's got the least amount of points compared to everyone else. And it is not looking good. I would say for Slap Your Mama, because I mean, he would just have to outscore. What would that be? At the very least, he would have to outscore Bruno.
Yeah.
By 90 points, about.
Yep.
Maybe about 80 points. I mean, that's a lot of points to outscore. So not only would you have to win and everybody else ahead of you has to lose, but you would have to at least outscore Bruno by 80 points. I mean, stranger things have happened, but that's interesting. Not much better for Rook, who would have to outscore by 60 points. But after that, it does get tight. You get not too far for Alabama Salvi to take that 6th place spot. Now, here's where it does get interesting. You are holding 5th, and you've got a 1-game lead on Bruno. However, Bruno and Alabama Salvi, in theory, could pass you
with points.
If you lose and they win and you don't outscore them, they can just jump over you and you would drop down 7. So that is interesting, man. So now let's look at the games that are coming up, folks. So the games that are coming up, you've got Slap Your Mama, who is number 9 at the moment, holding on for dear life. He is playing Brentwood, our Vanna White. And it is not looking good for Rainmakers. He is projected to lose. So Slap Your Mama's going to get that win, but he's not going to put up a lot of points. So it's not going to look good for him.
Yeah.
Then for the 8th place spot, you've got Rook playing Chuko. And as of now, he's predicted to win. But let's go ahead and take a look here. He's predicted to win not by much. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
Chuko's going to be rolling out Brock Purdy, while Rook is going to be rolling out Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Neighbors, Moore. He's got a lot of questionable people
Yeah,
playing.
I got
Kyron Williams,
questionables. Oh,
Swift,
Swift.
Otten.
Oof.
Yeah. I don't know. Does he have anything on his bench? No, he doesn't have anything on his bench. So the bye weeks are hurting him a little.
Oh yeah, Rook is hurting.
Rook is
With those
hurting.
questionables. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He better hope they play.
Oh
He
yep.
better hope they play. He needs Jefferson to go off.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, Jefferson hasn't put up any points in terms of touchdowns. He's got yardage, but he hasn't got touchdowns. I keep putting money on this dude to fucking score a touchdown, and I haven't fucking hit. I'm like, come on, man. How much longer can you go without putting up a touchdown? One of these has to hit. So again, I'm riding with Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown, hoping he puts one on. But we'll see. Now on Chuko's side, he's got Purdy, Hill. Hill's got a chance to go off.
Yep.
McConkey, but
Clonky,
again,
he's questionable.
questionable. You got Debo. You've got
It's not the same.
You've got Connor.
Connor, that's good.
You've got Gus Edwards, who's going to be the starting running back.
Yep.
It is against KC though. Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Amari Cooper. Bates got him 11 points, especially with that game winner. And then he's got that Kansas City defense. So here's the thing. Here's the advantage for Rook. I hate when you run into this. In fact, I do my best to avoid it. If I can sometimes sit them down, I do. But he's got Gus Edwards going against Kansas City, and he's got Kansas City going against Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
So they cancel each other out. You know, the only way it benefits you, for those of you who don't play fantasy football, is the only way it benefits you would be that Gus Edwards gets a bunch of yards, but no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or if the only one that gets touchdowns is Gus Edwards and no one else for the
Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah.
And that rarely ever happens. And so yeah, it's gonna cancel out, and that might actually hurt him more than he might know. But again, at this point, Chuko would just be playing spoiler. Chuko's not in it. He's pretty much eliminated. And so, sitting at 12, he is going to be the last team there, and he will be duking it out with the other 5 guys for the Toilet Bowl championship.
Yep.
So not looking good. Not a good season for Chuko. And then we move on to the 7th place team. 7th place team, he is not in bad shape. Another good game. Dudes that are in the playoff hunt. One's trying to maintain it. The other one's trying to get in. So you got Prime and you've got Potato Salad.
Yeah, that's a good matchup right there.
That is a good matchup. You are looking at projected 106 versus 105. Ooh, sorry, man.
Close.
Jacob doubled his projected points, so that benefited him. Laporta, though, I thought Laporta was going to do better this weekend.
I know. I thought he was going to score.
Laporta did not do that well this weekend, but he does have 30 points out of 2 players. That's pretty damn good out of 2 players. Unfortunately for Alabama Salvi, Mr. Potato Salad, Jahmyr Gibbs is on Prime's team, and Jahmyr Gibbs did get a touchdown, and that really helped out Prime not pretty much be dead in the water. And so let's see what they got left. You've got Herbert against the Chiefs. That's going to be tight versus his Stafford against Buffalo. That's going to be interesting. I'll give my take on that one. We didn't even talk about the upcoming games for our team, so we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Marvin Harrison, Addison, Elijah Moore. Oh, wait, is it Elijah or Eli Moore? I can't remember.
Elijah. I don't
remember.
remember.
Elijah. I was right. All right. Elijah. Same shit. B. John Robinson, Vidal. That is interesting. He's rolling out Vidal.
Okay.
But he's only got 3. He's only projected for 3 points, so it's not like it's a loss if he doesn't make 3 points. Anything else is a plus. So that's not necessarily about strategy. He's got Bass kicking indoors against the Rams, which might actually net him more than the 8 points that is projected. And then he's got the Chargers defense against KC. So that is tough. That is definitely tough. He doesn't really have anything on his bench that can help offset that. And Prime's got a decent team. He's got Stafford and he's got Nakua, so he can double up on points there. Good for him.
Yeah.
He's got Smith and Jigba. He's got Evans, which I think Evans is going to have a really good game against the Vegas Raiders. He's got Bucky Irvin, who's questionable. He's got Njoku. Devontae Smith is coming back against Carolina. I think this is his first game back. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think this is his first game back. He's got Sanders, and he's got the Frisco defense. I think Frisco's going to – they're angry.
Yeah.
Even though they're relegating, like, we might not make the playoffs. I think they're going to take it out on Chicago.
Mm-hmm. No, I think they have a chance. The only thing I think the Niners could go up big on Chicago, and then Chicago is just gonna air it out. That's the only thing. That's what I think. Yeah, and I hope that doesn't happen because then Chicago is just gonna just run whatever play and fuck it, just throw it up there.
So in that game, I'm assuming you want Prime to take it.
Yeah,
you're rooting for Prime in that one.
Yeah, I don't need the teams behind me to come up and shit, because they have more points. So yeah, Prime. I need the teams behind me to lose so I can fucking stay there at 5th and shit.
Yeah, so you're looking for that. Then you've got your matchup against the number 2 team with Mr. Charlie Cream Pie himself, Colonel Cream Pie, by the way. Versus HCN Homie Connect. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here. He's got Jalen Hurts versus your Josh Allen. That is a nice matchup. He's got DK Metcalf versus Keenan Allen. He's got Calvin Ridley versus your Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson might do okay. Adam Thielen. That was an interesting one. I was looking at Adam Thielen. Versus Worthy, but I actually think Worthy is going to have a better game.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting Worthy because the earlier in the season he got like 13 points against the Chargers and he had a touchdown. So I was like, all right, cool. They know what they're doing with Worthy. Reverse plays, like they studied these Chargers. So I was like, let me start him again so he could possibly get the same amount of points if he does. So that'll be perfect,
And actually, if you look at his pattern, is what I was going to tell you too. Is like he's due for a big game. He goes about 2 average games, and then he has a good game. It seems like Reed kind of goes in a cycle, right? Andy Reid's like, all right, we haven't used this guy in a minute. All right, let's focus on him. And he had a good game against them before in the season, so I think Worthy's going to have a good game. A-Chain. I think A-Chain, that one's going to be tough, dude. They play the Jets. You don't know what Jets defense is going to show up. I think that's high for A-Chain. But if they get him going early, I think it sounds like Mostert might be hurt, too. I think Mostert's hurt. So he might get the carries. But then again, Jalen Wright for them is also a pretty good rookie. So we'll see there. Pollard, that's interesting, dude. I expected more out of Pollard this year.
Yeah, but he's been steady. I mean,
he's been steady.
Great.
I mean, if anything, he's got a chance against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But sometimes that Jacksonville run defense, you're like, who the fuck is showing up? Like, I didn't know they were showing up. McBride against Seattle. Keon Coleman, he's limited.
Yeah, I probably most probably I'll probably move him, but I'm still thinking about.
Yeah.
The good thing is that he has
an afternoon. Hall. Yeah.
Cream Pie has Breece Hall is not playing, doubtful. And then his bench is he has a couple players on bench too. So I was like, all right, cool. He has to make a decision.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anybody he can use. He'd have to either give up. He'd either have to plug in Brooks, which he may, if he doesn't want to lose him, he may plug in Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, but he needs a kicker too, so he has to drop. He has to drop somebody. He's probably gonna have to drop Fairbairn, the Houston kicker. So
he may not. Well, all right. Let's play devil's advocate. I'll tell you what I would do if I were him. I would just take my L. Just take my L. I wouldn't. I mean, to be safe, I would play Brooks, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
cut any of my players.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
can
cut
see that.
Fairburn, and I would just if I win, great. If I lose, I'm still in the playoffs. It just means I might end up in the third seed.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to. To me, it's not worth the risk to lose a player, especially Fairburn, who's been kicking like crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would just take the L, which I know some of the homies don't want to hear because then it kind of gives you pretty much a guaranteed spot into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting there. Now, the other person that can help you is this guy right here.
Yeah.
Because I am playing the 6th place team. And unfortunately for me, though, it is not necessarily looking good. It was looking good at the beginning by like 2 points, but then Tucker Kraft got a fucking touchdown. He hasn't got one in a while, and he got a touchdown. I was like, really? I was like, oh, man. Unfortunately, dude, I wish I could help more, but if you want to look at my roster,
bye weeks.
There it is. Bye weeks. The 1 week that was going to kill me is this week. And I lose literally 2 of my biggest studs. I lose Lamar Jackson and Nico Collins. So, yeah, I'm hurting a little bit. I'm hoping the Will Levis and Westbrook Akine connection will actually pan out. Akine's been balling. Okay. And Will Levis is doing things here and there, so it's not a big deal. Unfortunately for me, though, George Pickens did show up in the injury report today. He pulled a hamstring, so it's not looking good for him. So they may not play him. I don't know. For me, if you're Pittsburgh, you probably rest him because you're making it to the playoffs. Yeah. So you don't want him hurt for the playoffs. So hopefully for me, even if they shut him down today or this week and they shut him down week 15, fine, because I don't play anybody week 15 because I get the bye. I definitely need him for the week 16 game. So by all means, Pittsburgh, sit his ass down. But that's not good news for you because that's one less player for me. Because again, I wouldn't cut anybody.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to leave that spot blank. So I know that Bruno is hoping that Pickens is out.
Yeah.
Shakir, I've got Barkley. Again, Barkley could win me a game. But
and he's double up.
And he's playing against Carolina. So Barkley could win me a game. That's been one of the things that's kind of got me to the position that I'm in, right? The combination of Barkley and Lamar and Nico has really been the reason why my team is the way it is. Jonnu Smith or Jonnu Smith, Etienne, Dicker the kicker, and the Minnesota defense. And our guy Bruno, he is rocking Mr. Burrow, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Darnell Mooney, Alvin Kamara, who's playing the Giants, so Kamara could have a big game.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks against Cincinnati, McLaughlin, the kicker, and then Cincinnati against Dallas. So that might hurt him if Cooks goes off and scores. That's going to eat into his defense.
His defense, yeah.
Yeah, so that might hurt him. But again, he's also hurting on buys. Yeah. And he can't play the Buffalo defense because if he plays the Buffalo defense, then it kind of eats away at his Cooper Kupp. His Cooper Kupp player. So it's going to be an interesting game, dude. I mean, I would like to win, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. We'll see how that shakes out.
For me, because right now I'm on a little streak. I think I'm on a 3-game win streak.
Yep, that is correct. You are on a 3-game
win
streak. Okay.
I mean, I technically, I guess I could lose this week and still make the playoffs if other teams lose, of course. But of course, I want to win, and I'm like, dude, I have to win this week, and then next week is already the playoffs. So I'm like, oh fuck, you know what? I have to go on a 7-game win streak to win the championship and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh fuck, that shit doesn't happen that often. Like teams don't do 7-game win streaks, you know?
Yeah.
But, oh, dude, I'm hoping, fingers crossed that this shit happens.
Yeah. Which I'm not too mad if I lose because that means
exactly.
Look at mine.
4 games. So it's like cool. You got that. You got that, loss out of the way. Exactly.
Yeah, I want that loss.
You can start a new one.
Yeah, so I'm not too mad if I lose.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see how that shakes out. Oh
Dude. We'll
shit,
see.
man.
We'll see.
Now we skipped over it, so let's go back. And super late on my end, so you let me know if we need to change, if we need to, call it. But I'm still good. We started super late, by the way, everyone. So I apologize if I was yawning. I had some technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Took forever to get this shit sorted out, so we started out super late. But I didn't want to, honestly, dude. I didn't want to pass today up. I was like, you know what? I got in the zone. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. We've missed so many days. We couldn't connect today. I want
Yeah.
to do it. Let's knock it out. Which, by the way, at this rate, I might actually catch FP3, dude. It's already past midnight on my side. But we've got the upcoming games for our team.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we kind of glossed over that. So you are playing the Bears, my friend.
The Bears. Yep.
What do you got to say about that? What are you looking at? What do you think? Are you confident in this game?
Yeah, I'm more confident. More because it's a home game. The one player I want to see go above and beyond and win this game for us is Brock Purdy. And I think he can, and I think he will. I do believe the Niners have a better team than the Bears right now, but it's still any given Sunday. So
Right.
it's Niners could lose, of course, yes. But the one thing I do worry about is just Caleb Williams just finding his groove and just slinging the ball left and right. Like, oh fuck, dude, like that's what I don't want. I want them to fucking clamp down on Caleb Williams and just have the Bears run the ball if they can, and my 49ers have Caleb Williams confused, sacked his ass, couple interceptions, that'll be great, and boom, we win the game. That's what I want to see. I But of course I do want to see Brock Purdy play better than Caleb Williams, because he has, the thing is, Brock Purdy has more experience, so he should win this game for the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's what we expect from a quarterback. You go out there and win the teams that you're supposed to win,
Yeah.
And I think we do have a better chance. I know we're, what is it, 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah, 3.5.
So yeah, I'm confident with this team. It's the Bears. They're also hurting, I think, with some of their receivers. But I know their defense is a little bit better. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about is the Bears defense. But hopefully Brock Purdy pulls them over and takes them, into that win.
Yeah. Which is interesting because the line opened up at 5.5.
Yeah.
And now it's 3.5. That means that people are taking the Bears to cover the 5.5 spread, which is interesting. Yeah, I think the Niners win this game. I think they come out pissed, dude. I mean, the Niners, they've lost 3 in a row. They come out pissed. Now, here is, it's funny that you brought this up not too long ago when you said the streaks, right? Well, you guys have lost 3 in a row. So of course, you don't want to lose 4 in a row. Well, the Bears have lost 5 in a row.
No, there you go.
So it's like
somebody's due for a win.
Somebody's due for a win, bro.
Yeah.
And I take it back. The Bears have lost 6 in a row.
Oh, there you go.
So it's like, oh, if we're going off of, which I'm a little bit of a, I don't even know what the word is. I'm superstitious, right?
Yeah, superstitious.
So I'm like, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. I mean, dude, 7 games in a row that you lose. I mean, that's tough. I mean,
but I mean, it's the Bears. They
but it's the Bears.
Yeah, they fired their coach.
Yeah.
But offensive coordinator.
That's a spot. Yeah. But no, I think I'd be more worried for you guys if it was in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think the Niners win this game, and I still think they're gonna just come out fucking pissed.
They should, because shit, they've been, their asses beat, and man, if they lose to the Bears, it'll be so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Which would stand to say what does that say about Purdy?
Yeah.
You know, like you better not lose. You better not lose because I still don't see the hype around Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting that that if they don't win, people are going to start to question that. Well, on my end, again, the Bills could
Mm-hmm.
help the Niners, so my team could help Caesar. The Bills play the Rams in LA.
And they're like,
Unfortunately, I will not be there for that game.
mm-hmm.
I just got way too much going on, and trying to get out there and catch a game honestly would be a little selfish on my part to get out there. We play the Rams, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't feel very confident in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you clinch the East.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of drag there. I think, like you've mentioned, we've won shit 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
Fucking 6, 7 games in a row. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 games in a row. I think no, 7 games in a row. Just kidding. We've won 7 games in a row.
Okay.
I think as a Bills fan, it's weird because again, I'm a little stitious, not superstitious.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a loss here. I would not mind a loss here
Mm-hmm.
because I'd like to go into the Detroit game having gotten the loss out of the way
Yeah.
because we do play Detroit next week. So it'd be nice to kind of get the pressure off of that loss out of the way uh, because I definitely don't want to hear us losing to Detroit and they're like, oh yeah, look at Buffalo, they can't beat the tough teams. It's like,
Yeah.
can we stop with that narrative? Like, okay, we lost to Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
we lost to Houston, like you lose. It is what it is. You lose. Like we
Yeah.
can't. I hear it all the time. It's like, oh well, you beat the Chiefs, but that doesn't mean anything. Do it in the playoffs. Okay, so we lost in the regular season. That doesn't mean anything. Like, why do we keep? We compare, we pick and choose. But I'm like, I just
Yeah.
don't want to hear it. I would like to beat Detroit, but obviously we play the Rams. But I think even if we weren't trying to lose, or even if we really needed this win, I'd still be nervous about this game. Kyron Williams is running pretty good. We
Mm-hmm.
give up the run, stats there. We're in LA, but chances are the stadium is going to be mainly Bills fans.
Yeah.
We give up the run. They've got two really good receivers. The receivers Cup and Nakua are finally starting to kind of get into the rhythm.
Yeah.
So again, for me, it's one of those where I'm not shocked if the Rams come out with this game. This could be one of those games where I don't think Stafford is going to just be average in this game. This to me
Mm-hmm.
feels like it's one of those Stafford has a game, he balls out, and he's the reason they win, or
Mm-hmm.
Stafford is the reason they lose. And he's got
Okay.
like a 3-pick game, especially because we've got Milano back. We're getting a lot healthier, and so I kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like we're getting healthy, but the Rams are one of those teams where when they catch fire, they can catch fire.
Yeah.
The defense isn't too horrible. Once their offense gets going, and so if we can get some turnovers, then I think we got a shot. Even if we're kind of just dragging from clinching the AFC East, and it's kind of hard to maybe stay motivated for the guys. Again, McDermott's a really good coach, so I don't necessarily see that being an issue. But still, like
Mm-hmm.
it's human nature. Like it's not a division rival,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not an AFC opponent. So yes, you still want the number one seed, so you're still playing for that. But
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world if you don't win this game. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams win this game.
Okay.
What's your take on this game?
No, I mean, I knowing the Rams, I know they're a good team. They're better than their record. I know their defense is playing good. I know I think they have a rookie or a second year player, defensive lineman that's playing really good. And then of course their offense, it's still dangerous. You still got
Mm-hmm.
Stafford, yeah, Kyron Williams, and I think Blake Corum is the backup,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and of course the Puka and Cooper Cup, like those are studs. So
Mm-hmm.
their offense is still dangerous. I think the one thing that I think they're going to use a lot more is Kyron Williams, because they saw how McCaffrey almost shredded you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and Kyron Williams is right there, younger, a little bit better than McCaffrey
I agree.
right now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, I could see the Rams winning, but I could also see Josh Allen pulling out that win, doing Josh Allen things,
Mm-hmm.
running the ball for first downs, getting, scoring touchdowns, and having, one passing touchdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I do think it's gonna be the Bills that's gonna win because it's just the better team,
Yeah.
better team. I think Shakur might have a good game also because it's on turf,
Yeah.
so it's faster for him. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it should be a good game. Top teams, but I think it's gonna be a close game.
We are expected to get Dalton Kincaid back, by the way.
Okay,
So
okay, that's
that's
good.
also a good thing for Buffalo.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, we shall see how things shape
yeah,
up.
we'll see, we'll see.
We've got an afternoon game, so we'll be able to watch. I'll be able to watch the morning games without
Oh
stressing
yeah,
too
me
much.
too.
Oh, that's right. You haven't. Yeah. So there you go. So that'll be interesting for everyone. All right. Well, that wraps up the week 14 for us on our end. I mean, technically, we had to jump back to it. The next thing we're going to cover is, in case you haven't noticed, I am draped in F1 stuff. Normally, I've got my Bills background. Today, I am rocking F1 stuff. I've got my Checo Perez flag behind me. I'm wearing my F1 Mexico Grand Prix hat, and I am rocking my Checo shirt. And the reason for that is because no one really knows, but it's trending like this might be Checo's last race for Red Bull,
Hmm.
and potentially in F1, at least for the 2025 season, because obviously all the drivers are set for 2025. And now, given his recent struggles, or his struggles, not recent, but his struggles for most of the year, they gave him a contract, and obviously the struggles continued, and then the rumors start to swirl, and
Yeah.
it's been rough. So with that said, I was like, you know what? We're doing this podcast. I normally got my Bill stuff. Whatever, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rock my Checo stuff just in case it really is true that he's not coming back. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna rep my guy. I'm gonna defend him. Uh, let's dig into it, Cease. Let's talk about what you know and what you've heard and what questions you've got about F1.
No, I mean, just I know from what I read, I think the owner or the general manager, one of those guys
Yeah,
for Red Bull,
the
he
principal.
kind of yeah, he kind of didn't say like, oh yeah, like Checo's coming back. So that led people to believe like, okay, like this is it, like Sergio Perez is not coming back, like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I mean it sucks, he's a Mexican driver, but I know he's older, right? He's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
38, 37,
yeah,
36.
he's up there. I think he's 36, 37.
Oh, okay.
In
So
terms of
yeah, it's like
drivers for F1, he's up there.
okay, yeah. So that's why I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I read that he might go into like a ambassador role or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
That was
So I
also
was like,
brought up. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, it sucks, dude. Like you said, it's the Mexican driver, the guy that us Mexicans root for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can kind of tell that he hasn't been racing to that Red Bull standard,
Yeah.
and of course, as a team, you have to make a decision. You have to get better. You have to
Yeah.
make the team better. So it's like you could see their reason why they're making the change or why they're not, making them continue to next season. But
Yeah.
it sucks because it's Sergio Perez, Mexican, our heritage,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and so next year there's gonna be no Mexican drivers then, right? It's just gonna be or is
Yeah.
there?
No, it would just there wouldn't be any. If he's
Yeah, you
not
said
racing, there wouldn't be any.
yeah.
The other Mexican driver that potentially could race, but probably not for 2025 unless something happens, would be the other driver, that kind of the McLaren driver for them in Indy, who's trying
Okay.
to transition over, is Pato O'Ward, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
a Mexican driver. So he's done some tests. I think he tested like a month ago for McLaren, uh, and drove at a practice for McLaren, and so things are looking good for him. And I think
Okay.
obviously any team would be smart to say, like, you know, if Checo transitions out, you leave a huge untapped market in Mexico, and
Yeah.
so you know they might consider that. And Pato O'Ward did have a pretty good career in Indy, so there's
Okay.
still a chance for him. And I think there's an up and coming Mexican driver as well. I can't remember his name, but I understand that there might be another up and coming driver,
Okay.
who might have to work his way through the different levels, but I think he's supposed to be pretty good. Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I mean, the rumors are swirling. Um, it's like I told my sister-in-law, or in our group chat, I said F1 is like the best combination of basically a sport and a telenovela.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much drama, like, on the actual sport, like in the event that's taking place, right? In the season, within the game, or whatever you want to call it, or on the track,
hmm
instead of like saying on the field. So when we say, oh, this team has problems on the field and off the field, well, in
Yeah.
F1 it's drama on the track and off the track.
Okay.
And so drama being, the point standings, the racing,
Yeah.
the how bad Red Bull fell off, how McLaren might get their first championship since like 1998, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
And possibly almost losing it to Ferrari. So much drama there, right? But then there's a drama like we talked about Checo. It's been going on and on and on. So if Checo does leave, the only silver lining for me as a Checo fan is that I don't have to keep hearing the bullshit from all the haters.
Yeah.
Um, you know, at this point in time, that would be nice to relax, to not have to deal with that. The other drama is apparently there's beef going on between um, Russell, George
hmm
Russell, and Max Verstappen,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And then there was also a little bit of drama at the last race,
hmm
with Lando Norris and McLaren and Red Bull and Verstappen there too. So yeah, I mean, they like I said, it's a telenovela. And I think
Yeah.
F1 does a fantastic job of exploiting that.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, and making it even more, and I mean, technically, just the way they're set up in terms of like driver contracts and everything else, like, it just makes for a lot of drama.
Okay.
But I will say, I do, I will say that I'm a Checo fan, so if he does leave Red Bull, or Red Bull kicks him out or whatever, I might be kind of happy about that, because I'm genuinely disappointed in the way Red Bull has handled this.
hmm
And I try to be non-biased as I can, but it's pretty evident that Red Bull's car sucked.
Yeah.
Um, he's been saying it all year long. The car's not there. The car's not there. There's something wrong. It's just not performing, and they didn't want to listen to him. Right? They're
hmm
like, no, there's nothing. Like, shut up. There's nothing wrong with the car. Verstappen's still winning, but it's like, and I think I mentioned this before in a previous podcast, is if you use that excuse, then you're taking away from Verstappen.
Yeah.
Because in reality, Verstappen is so good that he's getting the best out of that shitty car. And
hmm
I say shitty based on standards for Red Bull or the top three teams, right? But like, sometimes that car wasn't even on par with Ferrari or McLaren, and or when it was only because Verstappen had to work so hard to get the best out of that car, and the cars are already kind of set up, or the belief is that the cars are set up for Verstappen, right? At least the way the Red Bulls are designed. And I don't know if you've ever watched an interview with one of his former teammates, Alex Albon, which is the driver for the Williams team now.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him, what it's like to drive Red Bull and what it's like for Verstappen to drive, and he basically said like the car is suited to his driving style, and what his driving style, the best way that he could put it is that, have you ever gone to your settings for your mouse and moved
Mm-hmm.
the sensitivity all the way, and like
Mm-hmm.
any little bit that you touch your mouse, it's like shooting left or right, like super fast.
Okay.
Well, essentially, that's what it's like to drive a Red Bull car, except that Verstappen can handle that. And
Okay.
so, that kind of tells you that he's a beast in a different way, right? He's
Yeah.
built differently. And so, the calls of like, oh, replace Checo with somebody else, you should have put somebody else in. And in my head, I was like, if the car sucks, and he's been telling you that the car sucks, but you didn't listen to him. The only time you listened was when Verstappen was finally like, God, this fucking car sucks, man. Like you got to look into it. And then they start looking into it, right? And then it's like, from my understanding, they finally traced it down to what I remember hearing, to like an upgrade that they did in last year
Mm-hmm.
at one of the races, and that has then started to take their performance down.
Okay.
And so it took them forever to analyze that that's kind of where shit went downhill for them with their car. And so you took that long to notice that. You
Mm-hmm.
ignored what your number two driver was saying. And I get it. It's your number two driver, and your number one is the world champion. Now going to be what, 4-time champion? Or he is a
Yeah.
4-time champion. 4 in a row. And it's like, I get it, right? If he's not complaining about the car, then you're like, no. But it's like, I would assume that your number two driver is also the driver who collects data.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anyone that watches Formula One, when you're seeing them out there in the practices, sometimes they're putting different times. And sometimes they're putting different times because, for example, with Verstappen, they'll be running him on a different fuel load, so it won't be as heavy, and things like that. And then they might be running Checo with more fuel, different setup for a little bit, just to see the difference between how fast you can do it one lap versus how well your car is going to do over the course of the race. So you're collecting data. So if his job is to collect data for you as well, then why aren't you even listening 1 ounce to hear, like, okay, maybe he has a point. Maybe we should look into it. And so then there's that aspect, right? The other aspect is the little things that just come out where it seems like they're scapegoating Checo.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not making excuses for him, because if Checo hadn't fucking done some of the things he had done and made the situation worse, then it wouldn't be an issue. So he definitely deserves some blame there. I think he can't get out of his head right now. I think he's stuck in his head, and I know that confidence has a lot to do with your performance, especially at this level, right? Especially in this situation. If you can't get out of your head, you're going to be in trouble. But what put him there? And so it's funny that a while back there was a tweet that came out, and somebody said, I think they were defending Checo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said something about Checo's, doesn't have the same car. And a Red Bull mechanic for Verstappen went on there and said, it's the same car. They have the same parts.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, guess what? Another Red Bull mechanic, one for Checo, commented on that same thing and said, that's not true. Like, dude, there's squabble in the team. There's disagreement there. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Again, I'm not saying some of this isn't warranted by Checo. It is. It's disappointing in some of the things that he's done, and you're like, bro, come on, man. Like, ponte las pilas, way. Like, I get it, But at the same time, it also feels like they're scapegoating him.
Okay.
And so for that reason, honestly, it's like you forgot that he helped you win Verstappen's first championship.
Yeah.
You forgot that he came in second last year. You know, as the second point or the second driver as far as points are concerned. You
Yeah.
forgot that he got wins for you and podiums for you like crazy. You forgot that he helped you win the constructors championship. You know, and I get it. It's one of those where it's like, well, you know, Red Bull is cutthroat or whatever. But it can be cutthroat when the car is good and your driver sucks.
Yeah.
The car's not good. At least it's not what it used to be. And so then the argument to me of, oh, well, you should put in like Liam Lawson, the other Red Bull driver, the other driver for the Red Bull sister team or V Carb, as you want to call them,
Okay.
or Yuki, the other driver, or all these other people. And my thing is, I'm actually kind of looking forward to that if that's what happens with Checo.
Mm-hmm.
Because good luck. Max is gonna embarrass whoever he would have embarrassed whoever was the number 2 right now.
Yeah.
If the car sucks as bad as it doesn't matter who you would have put in there. It suits Verstappen's driving style. Verstappen's a beast. Hate him or love him. I don't love him. Hate him or love him. He's a fucking beast. You have to respect it. This fucker just eats, breathes, fucking shit driving.
Yeah.
And he's damn good at it because of that. And he's one of a kind. You know, he's essentially the Tom Brady of F1 right now. Mm-hmm. Just keeps winning. And
he won the last race, right? The Qatar race.
Did he win Qatar? I don't think he.
Yeah.
He did. He won Qatar. Yeah, he won Qatar. Yeah. He even won like Brazil when it was like pouring rain and no one else could like catch him, dude. Like all the other cars were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking probably the race of his life right there in Brazil.
Yeah.
And so he's a beast doing it in that car. That sucks balls.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, okay, you want to replace Checo? Go ahead. But it doesn't matter who you put back there. Verstappen is going to embarrass them. Like, and honestly, this is just my take. I want to say there's new rules and regulations, or I think there might be new regulations for 2025. And there's definitely going to be changes in 2026. I think in 2026, they have to run out different engine. I don't know that the car for 2025 is going to be that much more different than the car for 2026 or the car right now. Okay. Because if it sucks this bad, why would you want to put that much more money into it when you're going to have way more changes to the engine in 2026?
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Ford, they're partnering with Ford in 2026. I don't think it's 2025, right?
No, I think it's 2026.
Yeah. So it's like now you've got a much bigger challenge. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're bypassing 2025 and looking towards 2026, still trying to get Verstappen his driver's championship.
Okay.
Right? Because if Verstappen can get the best out of this car no matter what, then him getting his driver's championship is not a big deal. But you're probably not going to get the constructors if you can't finish the car. And if the other driver is going to struggle, then it doesn't matter. So you maybe focus on 2026 more. Okay. To me, it's kind of dumb that you would do that, especially if you're really willing to give up on 2025 or you don't think you have a shot at the constructors. Because the advantage with Checo is that he's got so many fucking sponsors that the money that you don't make from constructors, the millions that you lost because you don't get first or second in constructors, Checo sponsorship easily makes it up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where whoever you put in, they're not going to bring that kind of money. And so that to me is kind of like why I don't know. I think it's stupid, but like I said, either way, if he goes, fine. You know, I don't have to root for Red Bull anymore. If he stays, great. I will continue to cheer for Checo. And in fact, the other rumor is that Checo may not do anything for 2025, but he may be a top choice for Andretti Racing
Okay.
and GM for 2026.
Oh, okay.
So that might be pretty cool. That would be pretty interesting. You may be able to have a young hotshot driver, and you've got a veteran driver like Checo. Maybe not a bad thing. Plus, you get that money from Checo and his sponsors for an up and coming team. Not a bad thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. But now going back to the other drama and the most recent drama is Russell versus Verstappen. Do you have any idea what that's all about?
I think it was if I read it correctly. I didn't see it. I know I read it, but it was like dude, was it he did a maneuver in the race where he tried to cut him off? Is it?
So
you explain it because I don't remember clearly, but yeah, explain it if you can.
So basically, they were, I think it was qualifying. Might have been, I think it was qualifying. Basically, George Russell was coming up on them, but it wasn't a time. It wasn't a lap that like Russell was going to go on and try to set a qualifying time on.
Okay.
And so some cars are going a lot slower than others when, they're all on the track. And so they're trying to drive at certain speeds to build a certain gap between the traffic in front of them so that when they do run their qualifying lap or a lap that they're going to try to get timed, they want to build as much space and not run into traffic so it doesn't affect their time as much. Or they want to time it just right so that they can get a bit of a slipstream from a car ahead of them. That's how much down they have it down to the science, right? They were like, at this point in time, you're going to pass this car, whatever. So obviously, from what I understand, Verstappen obviously is ahead of Russell somewhere on the track. And he slows down so that he lets the other car for Aston Martin, Alonso, get further away. Because Verstappen is trying to clear some room so that when he does get started, he's got room to run fast and no traffic.
Yeah.
Apparently, they even told Russell this on the radio that he had Checo and Verstappen up ahead of him. But he was pushing on what's not a hot lap for him, meaning he wasn't trying to set a time. He's just driving fast on that. Okay. So he came up on Verstappen really fast right at the time where Verstappen got off the gas to build the gap to Alonso.
Oh, okay.
And so as a result, Russell had to swerve. Well, it wasn't a big deal until Russell made a big stink to the stewards, or basically the refs, made a big stink. And Verstappen got pole. He qualified first. He got pole. But because Russell went to go complain, they dropped him down to 2.
Yeah.
And so keep in mind, it wasn't like Verstappen interfered on or accidentally blocked or got on Russell's qualifying lap.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hot lap. It wasn't a qualifying lap. It was literally just him going faster than he should be on a
so it's kind of like they said they probably describe it as a dangerous move in part of Verstappen. You could have caused a big accident. So we got to penalize for that.
But there's no reason that it would have turned into an accident because no one who's not on a hot lap is speeding like Russell was.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they're all going slow. So, because you're speeding or going a lot faster, even though you're not on a qualifying lap, and Verstappen happened to go even slower so he can build the gap, which is not strange. They all do it.
Yeah.
It just timed out that way. So, because Russell went to complain, then they gave Verstappen a penalty. Okay. Well, the issue there is that Verstappen, when they get called in, apparently threatened George Russell.
Yeah.
And he basically, because Verstappen was hot, dude. But anyone that knows anything, the minute I heard of that penalty, I was like, oh, Verstappen was going to win this race. I was like, it's a wrap. Verstappen's winning this race. Just how pissed off he was. He basically told George Russell, like, I'm gonna put you into a wall, or I'm gonna crash into you if I have to, and put your head into a wall, or slam your head into a wall, allegedly. And so, Verstappen made it public that he was upset at George Russell for being a little bitch, for complaining about nothing, like, because he literally he's the one that decided to be pushing when he wasn't even on a qualifying lap. And because of that, he ran into the back of somebody. And because of that, he's complaining and they got punished. And so, like, that really pissed off Verstappen, and he went public because of that. And then Russell apparently went public because Verstappen went public. And so now it's just becoming this whole thing of like
drama.
Like, oh, Verstappen's a hothead. He's crashed all these people and da. And yeah, he's a hothead. I don't disagree that he's a hothead, but I don't know that it's to the extent where George Russell kind of is describing it. But I mean, that was a bitch move. I mean, so it's like, but they all do it. They all bitch. Like that's it's kind of like the annoying part of soccer when they flop.
Oh, okay.
They all bitch. They're all looking for a little excuse to penalize the other team.
Oh, okay.
Which leads me to the Lando Norris situation, where in the same race, where they could have, McLaren could have clinched. There was an accident, and they get a yellow flag, and Verstappen got off the gas just for a little in that section. And he noticed in the intervals that Lando had caught up to him a good chunk. And he was like, he told his team, check to see if Lando lifted, meaning if he got off the gas, because in this sport, they all share telemetry. Like they all share the data of everyone's cars, right? Or they can at least look at times. And so, and speeds. And so they realized, no, he didn't slow down. So they went to, same thing. They complained. They went to the stewards. Stewards were like, yup, he did. This is the rule. The rule is you get penalized if you don't slow down or you don't get off the gas, in a section where it's a yellow or a double yellow or whatever.
Okay.
And the controversy became that they gave Lando a pretty stiff penalty, which is a 10-second penalty, stop and go. But in F1, if the race is going on, a 10-second stop and go penalty is more like a 35-second penalty, because by the time the car gets in, by the time it stops, and then you start the timer, essentially that ruined Lando's race. Lando was not going to be able to finish high enough for McLaren to lock the championship up in that race. So McLaren fans were pissed, especially my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, who are McLaren fans. They were pissed. They were pissed at Verstappen. Some people were saying it was a harsh penalty. It was too harsh, that it should have never happened. But then I'm starting to hear that, like, technically that was the parameters. Like,
the rule's the rule.
Yeah, the rule's the rule. Like, and that's the issue with F1 is that the way they enforce penalties is just such fucking annoying. It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
Is it inconsistent?
It's inconsistent. It's like the NFL. Yeah. The fuck, like what's PI? What's a catch? Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's a hip drop tackle or whatever. Like same thing. It's the same thing in F1. Dude. Same fucking thing. But at the end of the day, rules are rules. You should have lifted.
Yeah.
Like it's your fault you didn't lift. It's your fault you didn't see it. That's that. And McLaren's guilty of it too, dude. McLaren, they rat on each other all the time. Hey, what about you should check Verstappen's car. You should check Red Bull's car. They got this technology. They got this technology. Mercedes got this technology. Like, they all rat each other. So it's like, you got caught. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is the sport. You're looking for every little tiny advantage. It's annoying, yes, but it's part of the sport, apparently. And you just don't like it when it happens to you.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, like I said, it's a telenovela, dude. I mean, that's kind of what makes it so damn entertaining and good.
Mm.
Um, but I think they'll lock up. I think McLaren will win the championship this weekend. I think they'll
This
win.
week. So this weekend's the last race, and
This
that's it
weekend's the
then.
last race. Yep, it went all the
Okay.
way, which is kind of cool because the race actually means something. Whereas last year
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull had locked it up so far in advance that this race really didn't mean
Okay.
anything. So that's cool there. It would be funny to see McLaren lose, much to the chagrin of my sister in law and brother in law. Uh,
Mm.
but if Mercedes, I mean, freaking if Ferrari could get their
Oh,
shit
okay.
together, which Ferrari had been, as of late, really, really closing the gap on McLaren. If Ferrari could upset them and win the championship, boy, would that be hilarious because McLaren has
Okay.
had the championship for so long, or first place for so long. But it's not looking good for Ferrari because Leclerc, their main Ferrari driver, he finished in first practice, but basically it's not really going to matter where he qualifies unless he gets pole. But he's taking a 10 grid penalty, meaning he's taking a 10 place penalty because
Okay.
they're all allowed at a certain amount of parts and components to their car per year, or for season, and they had to change their hybrid battery or charging system or something like that. And they're allowed three, and this is the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you do, you can change it, past your allotment. But when you get past your allotment, there's a certain amount of grid penalty points based on what the position is that you lose.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, if Leclerc gets first, he's gonna start 10.
Okay.
If he gets 10, he's starting 20th. And so at this point, both Ferrari drivers would have to score well ahead of McLaren. So McLaren
Okay.
would have to botch it, and
Yeah.
Ferrari would have to come out ahead of them. And with a 10 grid penalty, it's going to be tough for Ferrari. So at this rate,
Okay.
you know, it it's looking like McLaren's going to win. I don't know, unless Verstappen says, you know what, we're going to take out these McLaren drivers and just crash
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Which it's happened before in F1. There's controversy there where
Okay.
drivers have taken out other drivers in order to basically win their championship.
Damn.
because basically it's like you've got it in the bag. As long as this person doesn't finish ahead of you or doesn't finish the race, you win. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll take him out. Take him out. He doesn't finish the race. Neither do you, but he didn't pass it. He didn't get ahead of you. So,
Okay.
and they didn't get points, and they're done. So, yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's F1 in a nutshell. So that is why I'm
For
rocking
sure.
it.
We'll see. We'll see next podcast how it goes and everything.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Now I know we're running long, so we'll breeze to these next couple of things. I know you wanted to bring up the golden rule for MLB.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk on MLB golden rule right quick and see what.
So they were just bring. I know the MLB is going through winter meetings right now. And I know Manfred, Rob Manfred, the commissioner for MLB, he brought up the golden rule, saying that it's getting positive traction into being a rule for, I don't know, next season or something like that. But pretty much the golden rule is like the team or coach is allowed to put in their best hitter in a certain situation. So what they said is like, oh well, say it's like bottom of the ninth, runners on first and second. Dodgers are batting against the Padres, and so the rule is Ohtani. Dave Roberts could call up Ohtani to bat in that one of those 3 at bats in the bottom of the ninth, but they said Ohtani's due up fourth. And so you could technically, he's like, this golden rule is you could pull out Ohtani to bat in that order, and then he would still go back to bat fourth, whatever. So I'm like, I wanted to see your take, or what did you think about it? Would you like it? Or me personally, I wouldn't like it. I was like, that's dumb. Like, no, just leave it how it is. Like, let the player who's due up, get that hit, or be celebrated for that situation. Don't pull out your best hitter to place, against the other team's closer, and like, it's fucking dumb. And I'm like, fucking Manfred. I give him credit for trying to bring in the young audience or trying to make the game exciting, but no, this is not the way. Definitely not the way.
Yeah, I think when I heard of that, I was like, dude, this reeks of desperation.
Yeah,
It reeks of desperation. I'm old school. I want to keep baseball, traditional. I don't mind the new things that they change, right? I don't mind the timer. I don't mind, certain things. I don't like that they took away the shift.
Okay.
I don't like that, because what I think that did was it takes away from having to strategize. At least in my eyes, right? And it takes away from players developing certain skills down the road, like the youth having to, because every game is an adaptation, right? It evolves. Every strategy, everything changes. It's just cyclical. It's just that way. Yeah. And if defensive shifts or alignments are a big deal, and it's like it makes such an impact, then what do you teach the kids when they're younger? Learn how to hit the opposite way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Expand your hitting abilities. Like, that used to be the thing where it's like, okay, you learn how to hit opposite field because in a crucial moment, like, you can hit a gap that's normally there. And it's like, but if you take that away, then there's no need to develop that. And so I wasn't a fan of that. But this is even worse. Like, why? Like, aside from like you trying to make the sport more exciting for whatever reason, or appease some kind of demographic, it makes no sense to me. Like, you are taking away strategy. You are, and then it's like they still get to come back and bat.
Yeah. Well, they just talked about it briefly, so I don't know exactly how it's gonna work out. It's like, wait, so if he gets a hit and they lead, get an RBI, so then he comes back and bats again when he's due up fourth, but he's on base. So how does that work? Like, you get a pinch runner, and he goes back to the plate and bats. I'm like, that's I'm like, kind of confusing and shit, but
yeah.
I was like, fucking Manfred. Like, you're an idiot.
It definitely, to me, it just kind of, you're making it a clown show. You're taking away strategy. Like, that's part of the game, right? Like, that's why you have DHs. That's why when you're putting your lineup, it's part of the game of baseball. Baseball is a very, like, it's that game where you genuinely have to be smart. Like, you have to be thinking. That's why these coaches, like, the ones that are good. The ones that plan for every scenario. The ones that keep the dudes on the bench just for one specific scenario, right? That they've played it out and said, there's a chance this scenario might show up. And I'm talking about scenarios like you said. Bottom of the ninth, and you've got your fucking worst batter, ninth.
Yeah.
But he's batting because he offers a little bit more than what your better hitter does. But this ninth batter is a little bit better fielder, and you need this better fielder. Well, you're like, fine, bottom of the ninth, we need this run. My guy on the bench, I need him now because he's a better hitter. This is what I've been saving him for.
Yeah.
I'm bringing him in. Hopefully he gets a hit. He is my pinch hitter. Hopefully he gets it. That is strategy. That is thinking ahead. That is that is baseball, right? I mean, in baseball, you're supposed to know what to do with the ball before you get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you know you're playing the game right. And so Why would you take that strategy away? Why are you penalizing the teams that know how to do that? For the teams that have superstars everywhere,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, well, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put Ohtani in right here, right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's put Soto in right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's not strategy. Like, what? Like, you're not making them think anymore. It just, like, to me, you're just trying to bring up viewership.
He's trying to get a home run. Like he's trying to get a home run whenever he could get it, and it's like, fucking idiot.
If you're gonna do this shit, dude, you might as well be the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
You might as well. And honestly, the Savannah Bananas have it down better, and they're more entertaining. So
they're more entertainment, yeah.
They're way more. So, like, if you really want to turn it into a clown show, you need to go the route of the Savannah Bananas. Like, it's just that simple. Shout out to the Savannah Bananas, which, by the way, are going to be coming out to Arizona. And I entered a lottery. Hopefully, I get to buy some tickets. Because, dude, those things are sold out forever and a day. Like, I did not know they were that popular.
They're popular. They're popular on social media. And that's how they get popular everywhere.
Everywhere they go, bro. Their tickets are sold out. So now,
but they're different, and it's funny because, I know I've had a couple friends that have gone they've gone to Mexico baseball games, El Salvador baseball games, and other countries. But they're like, dude, like over there, it's like they have music playing, they have people dancing, and like. My coworkers would be like, yeah, like it's just more entertaining. Like just it's more livelier. Here in the States, it's like it's just quiet. Not that you just sit down, watch the game, cool. Yeah. But over there, she's like, it's just more music, more movement, more stuff going on. And I'm like, that's the Savannah Bananas. So like, they have music going on.
Yeah.
Shit, they do their tricks on the field. You're like, oh shit, that's just dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You catch a home run ball or a foul ball, it's an out.
Yep,
like
exactly.
If you're a fan and you catch it, it's an out. Like, I mean, and that's fucking entertainment. But you know that's what you're going to go get.
Yeah.
Right? You know that is the whole point. This is basically the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
And so, but that's the thing. You don't put Harlem Globetrotter rules in the NBA.
Yeah. True.
Right? So then why the fuck are you going to introduce those kind of things into baseball?
Yeah.
Like you're turning it into a clown show. It reeks of desperation. And it's out of touch.
We'll see.
So, it's not going to happen. They did shoot it down for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, so they said they were talking about it. So I was like, oh, okay.
No, it got shut down.
But I think it got shut down because of all the backlash that it's receiving. They're like, nah, never mind.
No, it got shut down, dude. That to me is stupid. So
okay.
Somebody slap him for thinking that. Before we do end the podcast, I do want to get your thoughts on a non-sports related issue, because again, we're supposed to talk about anything and everything. But one of the things that's going on right now in our space and in our situations, the CEO for United Healthcare was shot and killed, was assassinated pretty much, which they're still looking for the guy, by the way, or girl, I don't know. But I don't think people thought that there was going to be the reaction that there is. And it's funny because when I first heard about it, I had the same reaction. Well, I mean, not as cold as some of these people, right? But for me, it was like, oh, yeah, somebody that was disgruntled based on that they got screwed over, or a family member got screwed over, and they fucking said, I'm killing this motherfucker. Right? Like, it was bound to happen. Like, I think you've seen it in movies play out. I feel like it's happened before, or it's happened, when they go and kill a doctor.
Denzel Washington movie, I think. I forgot what it's called, but I know it's a Denzel Washington movie because I watched it. I was like, that's a good movie.
So I mean, it was bound to happen. The way this system is, the way our medical system is, the way insurance is, they don't give a shit about people, dude. And these guys, the CEOs, are raking in the money. they're incentivized. The less your company spends and pays out, the more money you get.
Yeah.
And at one point or another, people are going to get disgruntled, and I'm not justifying the actions here. I think that person
Yeah.
needs to pay for their crime, but you don't know what led this person to do what they did, and the decisions that you made, and whoever has been this kind of shady in terms of how you treat people, then that kind of blood that's on your hands, and so
Yeah.
people aren't feeling bad for the CEO. People are,
I think people are technically. I think they feel bad that he's dead. Of course, I think as a society we should feel bad that somebody just
died.
got assassinated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
assassinated pretty
didn't
much.
die. They got assassinated, right?
And yeah, you should feel bad. But like, I think the people are seeing it more like the healthcare. You see what you caused.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
this is your fault, healthcare, not the shooter's fault.
Right.
This is what you've created. And yeah, it is true. Like this healthcare system is just, oh man, it is. You ask for something and then you're fucking turning. They're throwing you through a loophole and shit. Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, you can't do this because of this, or you can't do that because of that. It's out of the network. You can't go to this hospital because it's not in our network. It's like, what
Mm-hmm.
the fuck? Like,
Mm-hmm.
really? It's
Yeah.
just it gets annoying because it's like, dude, like I'm paying my health insurance through my work, of course.
Right.
And then when you deny me for something so small or something, a surgery,
Yeah.
you're like, then what the fuck am I paying for?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's the obvious. Like, what am I paying for then? Like, if
Right.
you guys say no, and I think that's the frustration people get. Like, what the fuck am I paying for? Because I'm
Yeah.
paying for this shit, and you guys are denying me. So
Right.
where the fuck is my money going to?
Right. And I
And it's
think,
like,
yeah.
ah,
And sometimes, it, like, I'm blessed to be able to say, like, yes, I have insurance.
mm-hmm,
Is it the greatest? No. But I have it.
yeah,
Right. And in a situation where I have to pay out of my pocket more than I'd like to, I'm blessed enough to be able to do so.
yeah,
Right. I'm not in a situation where if I gotta pay something or if I need something, I can't do it. Thankfully, God bless, I can do it.
yeah,
Hopefully it never gets to the point where I can't afford it. But and it's not like I have money. I don't. I'm just saying I'm in a
mm-hmm,
situation where I'm not, screwed like that.
yeah,
There's people that don't have insurance or do have
mm-hmm,
insurance, but they have really shitty insurance, and they're dealing with life or death situations for
yeah,
themselves or for a family member, and they're watching their family members literally die because they can't get help
mm-hmm,
because they can't afford it. And now all that these people just that the insurance just sees is it's just a claim, and that's it. It's not
yeah,
a life. It's not a person. They don't see the person suffering. They don't see the person watching their family member just die and then feel at a loss, like we can't do anything because the insurance is getting, rejected, or they didn't approve it, or they're taking
mm-hmm,
forever, you know. Um, and that's got to be a really helpless feeling to be in that situation, to
yeah,
watch your family member die or your loved one die because our fucking healthcare system sucks balls, and insurance is fucking conniving as shit,
yeah,
and that drives people to do stupid shit. Again, not justifying this guy. That's why I said it's stupid shit, or girl. But you you created this monster. You're creating
yeah,
this monster, and based on how this is playing out, you're going down a slippery slope
mm-hmm,
because this
mm-hmm,
might empower some people to do the same shit. And as
yeah,
a result, I don't know if you saw, but some insurance companies or healthcare companies or health insurance are taking their leadership staff or their executives off of their websites.
yeah,
They're
yeah. I saw
scrubbing
that.
their
I saw that.
names, so you don't know
Yeah,
who they are. And that, I mean, that tells you something. And then
mm-hmm,
those little things are making changes. Like, I don't know if you saw, but I think part of what I understand was one of the complaints against United Healthcare was that, like, they had some kind of like AI kind of feature that would determine, like, what got approved or didn't get approved.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was tied to how much time or how much they would approve, like anesthesiology or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Don't quote me. I don't. But it was something there, and apparently, like, people knew it had like a 90% failure rate. Like it didn't
Yeah.
do it right, and yet they still decided to implement it. But now, I don't remember what healthcare or health insurance literally just announced, like, yeah, we're gonna scrub that. They were gonna do the same thing, and they were like, oh yeah, we were gonna implement it next year. It's not tied to this, but we're
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and scrub it. I was like, really? Like,
Yep.
like that's like you're putting a time limit on how long people need that. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what the fuck? It's like
Oh
it
yeah, and since this like assassin or this guy got killed, like dude, like on the internet, there's so many stories about people dealing with the health insurance.
mm-hmm.
Like I read one where it's like, dude, like my like family, husband and wife got in a bad car accident. Husband's in a coma. Um, the hospital is like, or the health insurance is like, no, like you're only allowed to stay in the hospital for 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
but the husband's in a coma. And they're like, yeah, you have to take your husband out of the hospital because we're not gonna pay for anything longer. So people are like going through that, and it's like, and the wife was writing, and she's like, imagine me watching my husband in a coma and me talking to the health insurance, them telling me that I have to take my husband out because they don't want to pay the extra from him staying in because he's in a coma. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude. And I know my personal experience with the health issue. It was recent too. It was probably like
Yeah.
2 months ago. So my son, my little son, Andres,
Yeah.
he was having a hard. We were noticing that he was having a hard time walking or
Yeah.
learning to walk.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking now,
Yeah. Yeah.
but so we were thinking like, oh no, we were taking him to therapy to
Oh,
help him walk and
yeah.
with his muscles.
Right.
So the therapist recommended like, oh, go through your Kaiser and ask them if they could get him a walker, like
Oh,
one of
okay.
those
Okay.
walkers
Yeah.
from the back.
Yeah.
We went through Kaiser. We asked them like, yo, can he get a walker? They denied him, and I'm just like, okay, and the same thing. Like, then what the fuck am I paying for?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and like, what am I paying for? Am I like, yes, I am paying for my health, my my other sons, but it's like, really, this walker, like, you couldn't get it to him,
Yeah.
like what's the reason why you denied it? And
Right.
my obvious reason is because of course they don't want to spend the money.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, dude, like, God, dude,
Yeah.
it's just so bad with the health insurance. No matter, and I think it's all of them too. It's not
Yeah.
just United Health.
Yeah.
All of them are fucking assholes.
Oh yeah. They all are.
Yeah.
And that sucks, man. Like, that's some bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
it's not expensive. Like, I mean,
No.
like, and even if it was, it's not like, again, like you said, we're literally paying insurance for that. Like, what is the point of it? If then I might as well just save my money and
Exactly.
not
And buy it
send
myself.
to you and buy it
Yeah.
myself. Like, with all the amount of paid, I'm pretty sure I could have easily bought that. And
Yeah.
that is some bullshit, dude. Like, it's genuinely some bullshit that happens, and it's
Yeah.
creating the monsters that it's creating.
Mhm.
And I appreciate you sharing that. And I appreciate you sharing that with.
Yeah, no,
with
that's
the
why it's
people,
like, I was like, oh damn, this is like, yeah, it's just crazy because exactly how I felt. Like, I got like we got denied, and I'm like, what the fuck am I paying this shit for? Like, who the fuck do I have to talk to like to get this shit approved?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an expensive walker. It's just like I'm sure that the years that I've paid my
Mm-hmm.
insurance could easily cover that.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh geez, it was frustrating because it's like, fuck.
dude, that is insane. That is not
Yeah.
something I would have thought would have been rejected.
Yeah.
It's not like you're asking for like a $40,000 electric, wheelchair or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, wow. And it's
Yeah.
for a kid too. Like, that's the worst part. It's like, imagine the families that like, and not to take away from your situation, because I think that sucks balls. And like I said, I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's personal. But like, imagine the people who've got kids with like cancer, dude, or the kids that are like, they've got a brain tumor and they've got less time to live, and maybe you need the medicine, and to extend their time, and it's like, no, like really,
Yeah.
like fuck, dude, like yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that like if that shit ever happened to me, that those thoughts wouldn't have crossed my mind. Like, you know what? Like, I lost someone I love, and you're causing me pain. Well, guess what? Your family's gonna feel the same pain I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
You could kind of see the reason why if this shooter actually got
have
his claim denied.
yeah,
That's what we're assuming.
yeah,
But yeah, you could see why it goes through people's heads. You're like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit.
and it doesn't justify it. Like, I
No.
mean, it doesn't justify it at all, right? But it's like there's it you can connect some dots there, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's dots that have been created because of the way the healthcare system is. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that is yeah, fucking
It's
healthcare
crazy. It's a
system.
crazy story, dude. You're like, dude, he's in New York.
Yeah,
They're looking for him. I'm sure they're gonna capture him. Like, dude, there's so many cameras.
yeah.
But it's just crazy, dude.
They found his
It's
backpack,
crazy.
by the way.
Oh, they did. Okay, okay.
Yeah, they found the
Yeah, I got.
backpack. They found the backpack. So curious to see what's going to come of that. That's
I
going to be
know.
very interesting. But
I want. Yeah, curious to see his story. Like, why? What's the reason why you decided to do this shit?
yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, we are going on almost 2.5 hours here. We're about 5 minutes short of 2.5 hours. So if you are still listening to this, I appreciate you, and I know C's appreciates you. And make sure that if you are listening to this still, go ahead and comment. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this whole CEO shooting situation. Was the shooter justified, or can you empathize, or at least have you had a negative experience with insurance? Chances are you probably have. So comment on there. Let us know what you think about this whole situation, so that way we know you actually watch this at least through the almost 2.5 hours. We are going to close out our episode though with something that we used to do. We kind of fell off, not because we don't want to, just because they're a lot harder to find than I thought they would be. But I did find some football cards. So C's did not get any. He hasn't been able to find any. I got lucky. I found a box. So I won't open all of them. I will open up 2 packs and see what we get. And then hopefully next time we do come up, C's has a pack. And then maybe we can even get Kamish, who actually has some cards. He just hasn't been able to hop on and time it at the same time. So let's see what we got here. So I've got a extra points Jalen Waddle. Looks pretty fancy. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, he hasn't done a goddamn thing anymore. I got a Raheem Mostert. Nothing special,
Okay.
I got a throwback to Flipper Anderson.
Okay.
That's how you know we're old. We know who that is. Oh, this is not a rookie card, but it's Puka.
Oh.
Jahan Dotson. I got a Jeffrey Simmons.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
I am definitely happy about this one. I got my boy Tupac Shakir.
Oh, okay.
Khalil Shakir, baby. And Alex Singleton, defensive player, I believe, for the Broncos. Yeah. And then I got I'm assuming this is a rookie. Leonard Taylor, rookie. For the Dolphins. And then a Terrion Arnold, another rookie, for the Lions.
Okay.
So nothing too special. I will say this card is numbered. I don't know if you can see it, but I think it's 32.
Yeah.
32 of 50. So we'll have to see. 32 of 50. We'll see what that's all about. All right, pack number 2 and the last pack for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what do we have here? I got Khalil Mack. Nothing special, just a regular card. I got a Gus Edwards, who is now with the same team as that Khalil Mack picture. Tyree Wilson, nothing special. Will Levis, not a rookie card though. I've never heard of this guy. Yaya Dibey? I don't know. Never heard of him. Have you heard of Yaya?
I think I have the Bucks. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have.
Tyson Bagent,
the backup.
Jalen Thompson for the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Corner. Oh, you might like this one. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So I got one that says alma maters, and it's
Okay.
got Chase Brown, Tommy DeVito, and
Yeah.
Devin Witherspoon. It's a Tommy
Okay.
DeVito. And Chase Brown, I don't know. Commish might be interested in this one.
Yep.
All right. The other one that I have here is I'm gonna save this one for last, just because it's gonna ring true for you. I
Okay.
do have a special edition card, a Jarrett Stidham, which doesn't mean
Okay.
shit because Jarrett Stidham is not even the starting quarterback. But Jarrett Stidham, nice fancy looking card, which is probably not worth anything. I do have a receiver rookie card, Malachi Corley,
Oh.
for the Jets.
Oh, okay.
Now, I do have an autograph card,
Oh, okay.
and it's a rookie,
Nice.
and it's a receiver, and he went to Florida.
Oh, Ricky Purcell. Nice.
There it is.
Yeah, boy.
There it
Oh,
is.
yeah. Damn, it's dope. Is it numbered?
I don't see a number on here. No, I don't see a number on here.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
So there you go. Look at that.
Does it say where he got drafted to or anything? No, huh?
No, this must have been before he got drafted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Better hope he does something next year. Shit.
Yeah. Hopefully, aside from getting shot, I mean, I'm glad he's okay. But yeah, hopefully he does something with the Niners. That'd be nice because that'll put some value on that card.
I know. That's good. That's a good pick. That's a good card.
So yeah, I got an autograph within the first 2 packs, so that'll work.
Yeah.
I'll take that. And then I've got a numbered Jalen Waddle, so we'll see what that's like. And hopefully by the next podcast, I've got how many packs are in here? And then we'll open up the rest. I've got 4 packs left.
4 more. So, all right. For sure.
4 packs left, so we can hopefully get something good out of these. And we'll save them for the next podcast, next episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, homies and homettes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. That's going to do it for episode 25. We appreciate you rocking with us for 25 episodes. If you've watched all, if you haven't, go ahead and watch them. You might find something funny. You might see something with the other guys. If anything, maybe take a look at the homie draft. If you haven't watched any episodes, maybe dive into that one, get a closer look at what the guys are really about. But yeah, it is episode 25. We're wrapping it up. Cease, say goodbye to the people. Got some words for them? Any words of wisdom?
Yes, sir.
Wrap it up for us,
man. Thank you for watching, guys. Hit that like button, comment, like Sergio said. Go Niners. And man, again, thank you for watching, man. Have fun. I think this is probably our longest podcast, like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, man, thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. And like Caesar said, appreciate you guys watching. If you've watched all 25, man, I appreciate that. I don't think we ever thought we'd get to 25 or even put in that kind of time, but it is fun. I do enjoy it, especially with my guys. It's really fun. I do look forward to doing it when we get a chance. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope everyone is fine and safe with their families. If we don't do it again before Christmas, I think we will, though. But just in case we don't, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in case we don't. And like he says, go Bills. But like also, vamos Checo. Come on, viejo sabroso. End on a high note. If it's going to be your last one, let's end on a high note. Hopefully, I've got nothing but good news on the next one. But that's going to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out. That is episode 25.
Peace.
Deuces. Peace, ladies and gentlemen.